Hello, comrades, and welcome to episode 215 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of... Oh, crap, that's written wrong. It's September 9th.
Take three.
September 9th.
No, it's fine.
No,
it's
we're
fine.
good, we're going.
No.
I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me I have Aiden Jensen, TJ Scocchio, and Tyler L. And no hellos from anybody. I guess they don't want to be here. They are not being held here against their will, for the record. Ryan is also here as our guest.
Hi, friends. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, that's the podcast. That's the thing that we do. It's about trains and train-adjacent things. And,
Hi, I'm East. My Discord was crashing. I could still hear you, but you couldn't hear me.
normal day for East.
Hello and welcome to the Terminus podcast.
The train will terminate
Apparently about software disasters.
at this station.
At Tyler's computer.
We are.
Where are we?
We are in Tokyo.
We are overlooking a beautiful highway bridge.
Welcome to the
on the
highway
Hudson River.
podcast.
Just kidding. We're looking at we are looking at a highway bridge, but the main focal point of it is the swing bridge. There's a cop. NYPD.
Is a cop gonna arrest
New
the
York's
swing bridge?
finest. Yeah, they're trying to close the bridge by force.
Are they gonna shoot the bridge?
They're gonna start shooting the bridge. There's a dog on the bridge.
So,
I have to shoot. Well, no, that's the ATF.
for the record,
There's a
the
dog
bridge in
driving
the
along the train.
background is the Spoiten-Duivel swing bridge at the north end of Manhattan Island.
Actually, the cop was angry he couldn't pronounce the name of the bridge, so he went to go shoot it.
Can somebody send me the link to where we're
Oh yeah,
I'm-
someone buried it under like 50 Japanese rail cam links. I don't know who that might have been.
And I don't know either.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I honestly, I think their name was. I was gonna say Gillies, but like that would have been before this. Their name was
Oh,
Hemlock.
sick. Here we are.
Anyway, so class on mental responsibility. Then let's get on with the podcast. The first incident was on
Incident.
8/21, August 21st. There was a train derailment in Cade, Louisiana. With BNSF power, I don't know if this is a BNSF line because it's in Louisiana, and I don't know enough about the BNSF. But it was captured on like a dash cam or something. BNSF train just obliterating an automobile that was on the tracks.
Original video, not mine.
Not mine, indeed. The following day, a man was killed after being hit by a train in Memphis. This was Canadian National.
Dean.
Dean
stop
is
killing
dead.
people.
No, I meant the dog. He died. That was my.
The
Well,
29th
there goes Dean.
had Union Pacific derailing a train in central El Paso. Nothing really exciting there. And on the 30th, so the following day, CP smashed into a semi-trailer and spilled corn everywhere, it looks like. And that's actually it for the Class 1 mantle responsibility. Norfolk Southern still holds the mantle. If you hear about Norfolk Southern wrecking or any other railroad news, you can drop it in the Terminus News channel on our Discord.
Or call the Conrail safety line or something. I don't know.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. That's keep that one under your hat.
Don't call Conrail.
But this is for us. We want to hear about this. We want to hear about the actual train wrecks, like Conrail, for example. Just kidding. For my favorite wreck of the week, for the wreck of the week for me, it's definitely the BNSF one. It was the first one I saw out of the list, but it left an impression on me because it's just, videos of trains hitting cars are just always brutal and always, I don't want to say cool, because usually, people die, but it's pretty intense. And it's not even that serious of a video in terms of the ones that I've seen of trains hitting cars. It's just the only one of these that has a video.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and vote for the corn one, because I'm not gonna open any of the websites, but the one that spelled corn everywhere sounds funny.
Okay.
Yeah, the photos of the corn one after the fact just look hilarious to me.
That's
yeah,
true.
looks like they glued
zooming
the trailer. To the nose.
Yeah, just
and you
pick it
can
up
just
and carry
see
it.
all of the corn.
Oh, they're letting some
Now-
jet skiers through the.
Now, if y'all, I do have actually a topical, a topical reference.
Go on.
I'll have to side with. I do have to side with the corn.
Oh, okay.
But just with one word. I'd just like to leave this in the chat.
Okay. Uh-oh. Shucked. God damn it. Should have made that your termination. Okay, so it's going to be the corn one. I understand. It is a pretty funny image.
It's actually very fun to be in, but the most comedic results, in my opinion.
TJ, I can't help but notice that you have not only your story, which I was going to seg into, but 4 other articles for your local service.
Yeah, the local service is going to be... Well, the 4 articles are super quick.
Okay,
It's
well,
like one-
rattle those off first, and I especially want to hear about the Pioneer Valley thing, because I don't know very much about that railroad.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. So the last train on the Peabody branch happened last week, for now at least. I think they had 1 or 2 customers, and one of them closed.
They had N customer, and that customer closed.
Yeah, so a holdout from the earliest days of mass railroading are gone, sort of, I guess, but whatever. Speaking of that, the Pioneer Valley, which is the one I really want to talk about, has been bought by, has been sold to the Gulf and Atlantic, an independent shortline operator in the southeast owned by Macquarie Infrastructure Partners, which sounds like a whole boatload of fun. The reason why I want to talk about this one is because it was the last remaining independent short line from a network of railroads called the Pinsley Railroad Company, which was a short line holder all over the East Coast. And the first railroad that they bought is of interest to me, the Hoosick Tunnel and Wilmington Railroad, aka the Hoot Toot and Whistle, which was a narrow gauge railroad that went from the Hoosick Tunnel to Vermont.
Oh, this is the one that you wanted to model.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and they were owned by the same people?
That was the first one that this Samuel M. Pinsley, who the namesake Pinsley Holdings or whatever the heck it was called, Pinsley Railroad Company. Yeah, that was their first one.
Well, with the name the Hoot Toot and Whistle, who wouldn't want to model it?
Exactly. So yeah,
And it goes from
they
Bloody Pit too.
Yeah, it went from Bloody Pit. It got realigned due to them building a reservoir and flooding it. So they ended up having a switchback.
Yep.
And then it got converted to standard gauge at one point, and then it closed.
It went right up the side of the river from the east portal of the Hoosick Tunnel. It's very interesting. Also, I do want to make mention of the Peabody line. It's just like a couple of miles of track that comes off of the MBTA's Newburyport-Rockport line near Salem. So it's not like we're losing a huge chunk of track, and honestly, I don't even know if there are plans to tear it up. It's just
no,
not...
I think they're just closing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said for now.
Question, is this... I might be confusing this with another story I saw. The Peabody branch, that also served Danvers, right?
Yeah, it was the Danvers branch as well, yeah.
Yeah. That,
which I used to drive under that railroad bridge all the time when I went to my late grandmother's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they lived in Peabody, so...
Oh.
I feel like it would be kind of prudent to mention that the Danvers is also the place, is the setting of the book where they compare sex to the Mount Washington Cog Railway. So there's
that's fantastic. What book is this?
It's called We Ride Upon Sticks. It's basically about a high school field hockey team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna.
I didn't mean to derail this.
No, that's great. I'm so glad I have this information now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm glad I have this information.
Maybe read the book. That'd be a good.
No, I don't. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Book club.
Anyway, so the one of the other things I wanted to mention super quick was that Patriot Rail has bought the Lake Winnipesaukee Scenic and the Hobo Railroad, which kind of explains why the owner of the Roger Williams and a bunch of RDCs took them away from there.
Yeah, they got out. They got out of there. They bailed out.
Oh yeah, aren't there plans to put them back in operation or something?
So the Roger Williams, I believe, is going to stay static, but unfortunately, the RDC cars that are owned by the same person are going to be operated on the Berkshire Scenic.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the
Berkshire Scenic, is that the same one that 2716 is going to, or is that a different one?
I don't think the Berkshire Scenic has bought any steam.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I know 2716.
No. That's the Rare Museum of New England.
Oh,
that's a different
I'm
thing.
so
That's
sorry.
No, it's okay. There are tons of these little ones all over the place.
Yeah, New England is full of little tiny museums that have one thing.
And
Danbury.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't even add to my local service the Shelburne Trolley Museum.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to visit the Shelburne Trolley Museum finally.
Yeah, and it was Speeder Day.
So
I rode in a speeder. I rode in a speeder. I rode in the trolley, which was very cool. The presenter on the trolley was someone who looked a lot like Ed Lecture from. That's probably not how you pronounce his last name. From the WMNF, looks a lot like him. And I was like, wait, is that? I wonder if that's his relative, but I don't think so. Anyway, the MBTA has issued something saying that they're going to be penalizing cities and towns along their right-of-way that don't follow the new zoning commuter zoning laws or whatever that Massachusetts implemented. These penalties sound harsh, but only the town of Holden, Massachusetts is being affected by these penalties.
Everyone else is compliant, which is bizarre.
Yeah. So I think I have experienced something worse than these penalties.
That's a really low bar. I mean, you are not Holden, Massachusetts, so...
No, but they were holding me up on my way home, you know what I'm saying?
God damn it.
Boo! So yesterday, I started a new job in downtown Boston, and I live very far away. Well, not very far. I live Massachusetts very far away from downtown Boston.
Yeah.
Which is about an hour by car and 2 hours by train. And I was sitting on the platform on my way home, waiting for the train, and all of a sudden, the announcer, the automated announcer, started saying that there are significant delays and, if possible, find alternate transportation. And I got worried, so I checked the app, and apparently there was a severe microburst that happened almost directly on top of the right-of-way of the Fitchburg line. So between South Acton, Massachusetts, which is about half of my commute, and my home station, there were 7 downed trees, power lines, signal wires, and crossings that were disabled.
Goodness.
So the entire system was in meltdown. Well, not system, but the entire line was on meltdown. The whole Fitchburg line, yeah. Yeah, and so there were about 6 or 7 trains, probably more, between inbound and outbound trains that were stuck with over an hour delay because of these trees. So I get on the train, we stop 3 stops in, and they're like, yeah, we don't know when we're going to move again, but we'll let you know.
Oh, God.
So we're sitting there, and they say, okay, so we're going to have to make a reverse move, and then wait for an inbound train, and then hopefully we'll be able to make some progress. So we make the reverse move, the inbound train goes by after about 45 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
And then they come onto the intercom. Well, and then so I'm checking the app, and the app says all of a sudden that all trains on the Fitchburg line will terminate and originate halfway down the line to my house in South Acton. And there will be no means of alternate transportation. Which means I am 45 minutes from my house, just stuck.
Yeah, so that's not good.
Yeah, so another hour and a half goes by at least, and Finally, we start moving again, and like my train left at 4:40, and at this point it was like 6 something, and it was so crazy. My boss, my new boss, was on the section train behind me. They became section trains because of the delays. And so they had us, this train behind us was so close and the system was so congested that they had us deboard our train. Our train emptied and went back to Boston, and then my boss's train showed up and picked us up. So I got on the
Good
train
Lord.
and hung out and got to make like personal small talk with my boss for like another hour and a half.
That
And
sounds
then
like hell.
Yeah, it was not great. But we got to South Acton. My great my my goat girlfriend picked me up. She drove in like 45 minutes from her house to pick me up, and then we ended up picking up. We ended up bringing my boss home too.
You saved the day.
I did.
The MBTA set
I
you
got
up
some
to
brownie
make your
points,
to
yeah.
impress your boss. That's really what this
Yeah,
was all
exactly. Oh, the bridge is spinning back around.
about. Oh, there it goes.
But yeah, so we got to South Acton, and it literally looked like a hurricane went through. Like the whole platform was covered in leaves and branches. There were tree crews and trees everywhere. Lightning was like going across the entire sky.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
It was apocalyptic. And I was
I
like,
was in
Jesus.
Pittsburgh.
you got
But
off of your train and directly into Purgatory Chasm.
it seemed like it. Well, the funniest thing was a stop from South Acton. I went back on the, or no, sorry. When right before we had to deboard our train, my first train, I went back on the app and they were like, "Oh, we've restored service on one track from South Acton to Fitchburg."
Yikes.
And they were like, "So we're gonna have like reduced speed trains going down that." So what they were gonna do is deboard the train again in South Acton, the second train, deboard that one, and then I would have had to get on a third train that was following the second train, and that train would take us to Fitchburg. And I was like, "Fuck that! My girlfriend's already on the way. I'm just gonna take the ride, call it a night." And I got home at like 8:30. It was a shit show, and I'm hoping that is not a normal occurrence every time there's a thunderstorm on my commute home.
Good.
They need to
I
talk
think,
to like
I think
Star
that's a little bit
Elephant.
more than a shit show. That's
The
Shit storm, you might
diarrhea
say.
quite,
line.
quite spicy.
I
Yeah,
Just like that flight, that Delta flight, which had a very
I did
What?
not understand a word East just said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I said just like that Delta flight.
Oh, okay.
It had the
Yeah.
diarrhea.
Yeah, well, at least nobody pooped their pants the whole way down the train. That would have made it even worse.
Why is this a legend now? People have been talking about this for like a week.
What happened?
I don't
There
let's
was-
just
There was a
no
Delta flight from Atlanta to Iberia, and about 2 hours in, there was a guy who had to use the bathroom, but he ended up soiling himself with diarrhea throughout the entire aircraft from his seat all the way to the bathroom. And there's a video of it, and it's just the entire, like, he covers the floor in black and brown.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, they said this. They said I heard interviews from passengers that said they like could barely breathe.
Oh my God. They should have deployed the oxygen masks.
Probably.
Anyway, so while you were stuck in commuter railroad hell, I was in Colorado, which is substantially better than that.
Sorta.
What?
I mean, sorta. I mean, not really. But yeah, you were in Colorado when I was in commuter rail hell.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A.
But I didn't go to the convention. $145 for a ticket is a little steep, so I paid my way by becoming a crossing tender at the CRRM, and I spent the entirety of Saturday crossing tending, which was actually quite fun.
Really nice.
But yeah, I went out there. I got to hang out with Wild, got to hang out with Mark. Leighton double booked himself and did not show up for the entirety of the event because he was busy out of town. So we had to do some videos. We did a couple citation neededs without him. and that's going to be like a weird half of a season of 3/4 of an Idiot show once we, once Heist gets done editing them all, which is going to take a while because I made a record length citation needed by mistake on the
Be fair,
the bridge
that's not
bridge.
just Mark editing that.
Well, he's
I'm going to hear some very fun stories about the editing of those, I'm sure.
yeah. I really look forward to seeing what it ends up looking like, especially the one about the killing bridge, because that's
Yeah.
again, that was a lot of recording. It was like over 45 minutes of.
Well, I mean,
Mark.
if my rate, I have a friends and family discount. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, I was like, wait, how is that relevant? Oh, okay, I understand. But we did that. I did 2 bridge-related citation neededs. I was gonna do one of the Hoosick Tunnel, but I realized there was no way to make it not depressing. So really, I'll just gear my effort towards someday getting on Well, Here's Your Problem and doing a Hoosick Tunnel episode. That
could
way.
just be like those people who comment on every episode the same exact suggestion.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll
Year
do it.
16,
Yeah,
400 have died.
yeah, that's what I said. I said I would divvy it up by slides, and every slide would have the current year and the current total of dead.
Oh, that is so uplifting.
I know. I don't know. You can't make it uplifting. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
It's the bloody pit. How can you make that uplifting?
It would start with.
I did not. My brain kind of disassociated, phased out for a moment, and then I realized, and then I came back, and then I think I commented too late and realized you were talking about the Hoosick Tunnel, and I don't know a lot about it, but I know a lot died.
Yeah, no,
So-
Ryan, now that you're in, the general vicinity, we should go rail fan the Hoosick Tunnel before they stop running the NS single-stack trains through it with the Voorheesville restoration, which we'll talk about later. But I should come and steal you and kidnap you and take you to the Hoosick Tunnel, and if you're lucky,
Please.
we'll leave.
Oh,
But, so...
yeah, hell yeah.
I did that. We also went up to Como, which was really neat because I'd never been to the South Park. I'd heard a lot about it. I didn't know what it looked like. Went down a total
Holy
rabbit.
Cookie Land.
Yeah, I went down a total rabbit hole of these floating dredges, which
Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely fascinating pieces of technology that basically are just they're barges that scoop up the ground in front of it, process it, and then spit it out behind it, and then slowly winch themselves forward.
Yeah.
We talked about
Dredges.
writing a book called
Get a photo.
"Sailing the South Park" about about these dredges because they just slowly moved across the landscape, and some of them were
Here's a photo of
humongous.
one.
This isn't the best photo because you can't see the lake that it's in. They all
Well, the lake's been dried up. I think,
okay,
at
yeah.
this point.
That's the thing. These things could dig over 100 feet down. So it would sit in a lake that's 50 feet by 50 feet to accommodate the barge, and then 100 feet deep, which is a little terrifying.
I think a little terrifying is understatement of the podcast today.
Yes. Again,
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating. Como was really neat, and in fact, I'm going to share a couple photos of a thing that is getting work done out there that isn't Como specifically, but it's Como adjacent. It is in the town of Como. And it's this excursion car. Tyler, are you familiar with this at all?
I think so.
There
It's-
is, and I think they said 1870s 3-foot gauge excursion car that was part of someone's house. It's half of the car. It was part of someone's house, and whomever recognized that it was a rail car, and so they got it out of there. They brought it up to Como, and they're slowly taking the house off of it and figuring out what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Well, it's ejection in a sharp car. I have a decent approximation of what that would look like.
Well, see, the thing is, this is incredibly bare bones for a Jackson to Sharp car. There is a photo
Yeah.
of it, which I forgot to take a picture of the picture. but there is a photo of it. It is extremely simple for a Jackson and Sharp car.
Yeah.
But-
If it's an 1870s one, then it would be the rounded roof and not like a Clara story.
Right, yes. It's got a rounded roof. It basically just had...
There is not much left of this
There is
car.
not much left of that car,
Yeah.
but it is still absolutely stunning, the stuff that was there. And you can see... I didn't post the picture of it, but see how it was painted green?
Mhm.
Underneath that green, there are hints of a layer of... No, it was not this.
It's not this, but this is a similar style of car body.
I guess.
With the
Except it's
roof.
not a
I'm
combine.
trying to find the... Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find an excursion.
But
version of
underneath this, there is paint flecks of Tuscan red with black trim, which was
Oh, no.
possibly the original paint scheme for this car. They were just looking at it, and they're like, look where the green is peeled away. You can see like this reddish color underneath, and I just looked at it and I went, that's Tuscan red. And it just sort of clicked to everyone. Like, oh my god, this car was a Tuscan red coach. But yeah, so like I said, they're slowly peeling the house off of it. This is one of the most fascinating things. We did a toast at the summit of Kenosha Pass to 346's engineer. We saw from the road the spot where 346 wrecked, and I had that story recounted to me. And also, I just had like a terrible altitude sickness that day because we were up at like 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
And the following day we went to Georgetown Loop, which really wasn't any better, but at least I got to ride behind a steam engine at Georgetown Loop.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, maybe not the thing that cures what ails you, but steam train.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. And then I got home and I went on a tangent of like exploding the big railroads from Merger Mania, and Merger Mania has some ahistorical pieces now,
Right.
but it's going to be a very different game. That's what I've been doing Railroadania wise. Of course, I do have my little piece of news, which is that the T1 Trust is ready to start fabricating the frame.
Yes.
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 Hey Tyler, where's the E10 trust?
The
Oh no.
So, the the frame, they got all the CAD done for the frame, and they estimated that it would cost about $900,000 to make.
Woo-wee! Except,
they've gone and they've gotten quotes with fabricators, and that cost has actually come down to almost a third. It's now about $350,000 they're estimating, and they already have $125K raised to make it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, join
That's like someone messed up some numbers bad.
join the Frame Club.
Demon our time. Duck for dinner.
Duck for dinner is right.
Talkie for dinner, what?
No. And Ryan, I'd like to thank you for introducing me to the phrase "duck for dinner."
What
Because
can I say?
Duck for dinner.
Fucking bring down that hoity-toity A4. Let it burn.
it does not deserve a speed record. You know what does deserve the speed record though? C62.
7,002.
Yeah.
262.
So
Well,
recently, East, you made a bet, right?
Yeah, I made a bet with Tyler.
Yes.
You want to elaborate on that bet and the consequences thereof?
Kids, do not place bets.
Don't gamble.
Don't gamble.
We should have another
Except for
train.
when
To be fair, you wanted that model.
Yeah, no, it's not like I was begrudgingly. Alright. So, I made a bet with Tyler that if I win a Royale with C622, I would purchase a C622 model.
And then,
Lo and behold, I win it by half a point off of a blunder by Mew.
yeah,
And then I'm like, okay, I'll just, get an N scale one for like $40, because you can get a fully fabricated N-scale C62 for about $40, maybe $50 with shipping. And then Tyler DMs me a link to a C62 auction,
A rubber room.
a link to a rubber room, an HO C62. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably gonna be stupid expensive because it's brass, it's sound, it's a modern brass engine.
Yeah.
I click the link, not expecting much. Bid. 1 day left, $100. My jaw drops. I'm like,
Oh god.
Now, the reason is that it was considered heavily damaged.
Heavily damaged, huh?
Yeah. I found 2 loose parts in the entire engine.
That's pretty
And
damaged.
of course the broken front knuckle. The first loose part is from underneath the walking frame. And then the second one is the brake wheel for the tender. Both of which I just glued back on in like 10 seconds. And so now I have a Superman.
Yeah, that's of course.
Yeah.
When you said like, when I was told of this bet, I did not expect the turnaround time to be like less than a day that you went and you won an auction for one of these things. But it is a gorgeous model.
It is so beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great.
And the best part is guess what the bell function is linked to? Oh, it's DCC sound. The sound was taken from the actual engine. I've seen the prototype of this engine IRL.
Wait, it does have actually DCC in it, or?
Yeah. Yeah, it works on my DCC system. It's set to 003.
Oh my god.
Okay.
How do you think I was playing the whistle and moving it?
I don't know. I don't do much HO.
That's fair. Yeah, fully DC sound model for $400. Brass. Brand new brass.
Wait, how much did you get it for in the end?
$400.
That is a not bad price at all.
It weighs
really
2.5.
good.
The engine weighs 2.5 pounds. The pulling power on this thing is gonna be astonishing. Basically every light works, which is it's great. It has cap lights, it has crew figures. It's truly a beautiful model.
That's man.
It definitely looks the part.
Yeah.
Got your.
Yeah.
You got
What's
your
the
you
bell
got your
again?
C62.
So yeah. You can imagine my surprise when I pressed the bell function on my controller, and I heard a ding, 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 ding. I'm like, this thing has a bell? I was genuinely surprised. I was like, wait a second, where's the bell on this thing? So I take a video and I send it to Tyler, and I'm like, Tyler, C62 has a bell? And he's like, what? And he's like, there's a CCT up, and I was like, yeah. And it's like, okay. I sent him the video. Take a guess what the bell is assigned to.
It's a crossing bell.
No.
I don't know. It's
Low water
it's a
feature?
dude with a cowbell in the cab.
No.
That too.
That's about as close as I guess. It sounds like a guy hitting a metal can with a wrench.
What it is it's the automatic train stop warning.
Oh,
bell.
of course.
But it sounds like a bell because it goes like ga-ding, 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 ga-ding,
Yeah.
ga-ding.
So warning
like-
bell. That's actually amazing, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is a beautiful model in East. When I get, or Aiden, I am so sorry. My
It
brain
doesn't
is
matter.
fried. But when I get sound in the RM, we are going to meet and we are going to have our Far Eastern passenger engine extravaganza.
Far East Rail.
Yeah, the Far East Rail. Yeah, but I think it needs a friend in Arizona, right, guys?
No, I'm not going to
Maybe.
encourage. I'm not encouraging Tyler to buy one. Also, Tyler has his
Come
own stuff
on,
going on.
let it-
In fact, related to
Yeah.
what I was paying my way as a crossing tender for, I got to go and play the Century of Steam demo.
Yes.
Yeah, and with the funds from Century of Steam, I think a solid investment would be the brand new run with new tooling, a
Okay,
C63.
No, what we really need is spoiler explosions and signals.
Ellis.
I will never
Ellis.
stop saying that. You're not
Okay.
getting me to stop
Well.
saying that at any point. I've said it
We
from
need a
I've said it from the
All right,
beginning,
so
and I'm
we
going to
will-
keep saying it.
we need a Boston where we reach and Lynn map. That's what we need.
Yes, absolutely.
We need cherry blossoms. That's what we need.
The
We
cherry
need a
blossom
lot of
special.
things. I need some sanity first.
Yeah. So how's Cookie
But-
and everything?
To explain Century of Steam, we had our demo at National Narragates Convention, which Ellis got to play. So Ellis, if you want to explain to the world your thoughts, for
I mean, I don't feel like I can say very much that isn't fairly generic. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. A lot of it is admittedly. Oh, we missed a train on the cam. A lot of it is admittedly like as I was told by Mark and by you and by everybody. Oh, it's hot glue. It just works for the moment. But even still, it is very functional. It feels very right. It doesn't feel particularly janky, and even then, a lot of the controls seem to have taken cues from things like Derail Valley, just like a lot of quality of life stuff that, thankfully is in this game, that very clearly is in this game, that in comparison to certain other titles.
That legally we cannot name.
Yeah.
Minecraft,
But yeah, that's
in
true. Those things aren't in
OpenTTD.
Minecraft.
Rails of War.
Yeah.
say, with
This,
Transport
this
Fever
game
2.
is so much better than Rails of War.
City Skylines.
It's true.
with the demo,
But
since
it's
I was
it's
not there
gorgeous.
physically,
It's gorgeous,
I saw
and
it on
the
the-
wrecks are so much fun.
I saw it on Patreon. That was cool.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that counts.
Yep. there is a set of videos up on Patreon for going over the demo. The Whistles video just recently became public. I'm trying to think what else.
And there's a Q&A.
Yeah, the Q&A and some screenshots. Besides that, from what I've heard from my colleagues, it was very well received, which was nice.
I haven't even played it, and I loved the demo. I mean, I just watching it was like really cool. It was clear that like you're not just like standing like in like in trains, how you just kind of like you can be in cab mode, you can walk around the cab, you can use the cab controls, but like you're not really like you don't really feel like you're driving the train. You know what I mean? You feel like you're just like it's just like going. But like I could tell just from the demo that like you're always doing something to be running the train. Like I noticed the smoke like changing with how well you're running the locomotive and how much you're stressing the locomotive and all that sort of thing. It's just really cool to see. I mean, I think I said this before when I talked about Century of Steam, but like you can tell that the people who are working on the game just love steam locomotives like in general. They have like a huge passion.
Yeah.
And it's really great to see. I mean, like there are a couple like sim racing titles that I think the same way of. Like you can just tell the people love what they're making, and I think that's the most important thing when you're making a game.
Yeah.
It should be clarified, most of the team, we are not game developers first. We are
Foamers.
engineering
Foamers.
students,
From
people who work for, insert railroad organization here. And then we're just the people who randomly decided to learn, or already had some background in coding or whatever.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of it
And
is
then we have
a lot
we
of
have
it
a
is
few
hot
that
glue
are-
and hot glue vibes
Yeah.
right now, but it's still phenomenal. I
The
wish I
bone-
could have
the
spent
bones are definitely there.
I wish I could have spent more time with it, because I just drove around in a circle. I drove the demo map back and forth, and then I had one big wreck because I was being encouraged to do that. And the only sort of disappointing thing about the demo, and apparently this is not a unique thought of mine, is that TJ, you were saying about how you have to sort of do different things with the engine. I mean, the steam sim isn't really there yet, but that part is fine. But the locomotive that was chosen to go in the demo is just sort of like
It's oil fired,
it's
right?
very, yes, but it's also very sad. It is a very weak locomotive, and so you basically can just run it in the corner, or you kind of have to, in order to get it to go anywhere. I was expecting to slip. I was expecting this or that, and it's just like, no, that doesn't happen because this engine is sad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a way, that's kind of cool, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like the engines have their own different characteristics.
well, yeah, I would hope.
I will say something that caught my attention was the smoke physics that was mentioned about the what was it? If you're working an engine harder, then the smoke will physically change. I know that, like, again, trains does not come even close to, like, the experience that you can get. But I know that a lot of the Trains Forge models, like, I think some of the later ones have been experimenting with that. So I think that it's neat that, like, we're taking this idea to the sensible conclusion.
Yeah, it's like logical conclusion. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler. I mean, including yourself, there are some Trains Forge people working on this one, right?
Yes, there are a few of us. You know, I it's like, oh, we need models. Okay, let me just call my buddies.
Yeah. Oh, someone made one of those already.
Yeah.
The
Daniel
besties, if you will.
is
Look at those squad of
And
jet
the,
skiers. I'm like, man.
my God. Daniel Gallery, he's the 1024E, I think it is. That's in the demo. That was his model. A few other bits in there. It's really easy for us since we already kind of have these set like standards and understanding of topic. Whereas if you got like just a 3D artist who does video game work and told them to make an 1800 steam locomotive,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's a different ball game right there.
Mm-hmm. And even now, still, we do a lot of hitting the books and finding formulae and diagrams and everything. It's a never-ending process.
Well,
Yeah, you can tell how foamy that the team is because of how like nitpicky
60 plus
it
whistles.
seems to be. Yeah, exactly. Like they're like, yeah, well, it has to have this thing, it has to have this thing, it has to have this thing, and it's like only only like a steam or a narrow gauge foamer would want those things in the game.
oh yeah.
But like I mean that's a selling point for me, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's
Bowling.
fantastic.
Polling, I mean, yeah, that's
The
what I'm
polling,
saying. But
the
I mean,
snow
even
fighting.
just
I know,
the snow
like
fighting.
everyone between everyone that's worked on the game that I've talked to about it is like, yeah, everyone went gaga for polling, but we really expected people to get excited for the snow fighting stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I was excited about that.
And I saw polling.
Yeah,
And then you sold the stick.
yeah. And that was just, again, that's just what everyone was talking about. It's kind of crazy.
One thing is there a single other train game where you can bowl?
There isn't a single other train game where you can do either of those things.
Yeah, I was going to say they're both unique to that game. Yeah.
Well, I
No,
mean,
the snow
you can-
physics. I think there's like 2
Rolling
rail
line.
warp routes that have
I
it.
mean, theoretically, you could make the. I understand Gmod's not a train game, but you could theoretically pull in Gmod.
There are some people who insist that Gmod is the best train game, as a matter of fact.
I'm not here to discuss. I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
I-
Unfortunately.
The best train game is HO scale.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I do feel like that. Like, I think what
One
so
scale.
few games have tapped on
One.
is like the fact is that when you're doing it with other people, it's just a lot more fun.
Mhm.
Like,
Actually, the best train game is 7.5 inch scale.
what is it?
Wonder where
You
your
ought to
segue
talk
is.
to
Yeah.
Jim about that.
I wonder what I could be segueing to. Definitely not this narrow gauge, like 44 tonner.
What? Elaborate?
Yeah, I'm now a member of the Trade Winds and Atlantic. No! Of the Trade Winds and Atlantic Railroad, a 7.5 inch gauge railroad in Florida.
Cool.
So I went to a volunteer today. Ran with the cute little cute.
Oh, you ran the thing?
I run the thing.
He runs the thing.
It has side
Um,
rods. It's cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then here's a GP60.
Oh
That we
well.
bring maintenance on.
Well, that's what
Here's-
was
He
it?
appears to be a nice fellow. I think I'll call him Bob. Moments later, Bob is
Oh, he's
dismembered.
dismembered.
I love those
Um,
Earl ass batteries at the bottom.
Yeah, one of those batteries actually exploded, which is why we had to do maintenance in the first place.
I can tell. I can see it in the battery tender.
Yeah, and that's the clean end.
Ooh.
You should have seen what inside the fuel tank looked like. It was. You couldn't stand within 15 feet of this engine without smelling battery acid.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was real fun. You know, I only derailed one wheel,
Nice.
but it was really easy to put back on, and I don't think anyone noticed.
Oh, Slade.
Yeah, it was a real fun time.
Sladen.
Sladen, yeah.
Snowden? Edward Snowden? This is the second time I'm
Snowden?
saying we have to get him on the pod.
Yeah, we have the Edwards.
No, I don't think we need to do that.
He's a whistleblower. That's train related.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, he blows whistles.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to extradite him. He just blows those wooden whistles all the time, and they're annoying
Yeah.
as fuck.
Hey, TJ, remember coming back from my graduation party?
Oh, I remember.
I just trying to remember.
Yeah, I was Edward Snowden on that day.
You leaked whistles all the way to his house.
I blew some whistles, or a singular whistle. I was a whistleblower.
Which whistle did you blow?
A wooden one. Outside of Ellis's car window every time we went through a crosswalk.
A wooden whistle? And wooden
surprised there's
whistles.
no brand
for that,
That's
honestly.
crazy.
That's going back to Century of Steam for a second. Just the fact that aside from the fact that you can so clearly tell that everyone is so very proud of themselves for this game, which is a good thing, obviously. Like when I was driving around and I had like 3 or 4 people looking over my shoulder, Mark included, and just telling me like, "Crossing's coming. Don't forget to blow for the crossing." It's like, okay.
Going back to wooden whistles.
What? Oh, what the heck is this?
I went to the Manhattan Transportation Museum.
Oh, right, that's right, because you were in New York while I was out of town. God damn it.
Yeah,
That's a really
well,
cool place.
And it was really cool. It was really fun, like exploring all the cars and taking photos of everything, and all of the couple of heights that would get you -5 points if I were getting Quarterpassy. But I went with my girlfriend and her cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and her cousin bought one of those wooden whistles. And he's like 30, but like we all have our inner child in us when we get one of those wooden whistles.
Damn right.
And it
Tell me
was
about it.
fun. Just like we spent the rest of the day just occasionally blowing the whistle.
Well,
We
that's
became true whistleblowers in Manhattan.
Yeah, according to TJ.
Whistleblower. Are we allowed to send views videos of those cool ass MTA?
Are we allowed
trips?
to
I mean,
leak
you would
F-35
probably
documents?
ask Mew for that. I don't think he would care, but also I don't have a way to show them.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I was gonna say you should show them off.
Yeah, Mew was in the neighborhood.
Can we leak R33 or R32 car diagrams in the Terminus podcast?
No, they're classified.
MTA classified
It
information.
has been 0 days since the Terminus podcast leaked classified information.
Ooh, F-16.
Yeah, can I post the MiG-29 documents as my Terminus?
Hey, I've seen this thing, Ryan.
Hey, I've seen this thing, Ryan.
Hey, I've seen.
Hello.
What is this?
It's
It's
train.
this thing. It's this thing.
Yeah, it's a hornblower.
Yeah, we should probably give Ryan a
I-
turn before we have to move on
I-
because we're
I-
already like 20
didn't-
minutes over time.
I didn't want to force it. I just
No,
wanted to have everything
please
ready
do.
to go.
We were
This is
kinda-
the
we were
thing you
kinda
should be
rambling
doing.
anyway, Yeah, yeah.
But today on Loebner, oh, the door. Hello. Today on Loebner, I was taken to the train station. Basically,
Nerd.
I was taken
Forcibly
to the train station.
being extradited.
And we encountered. I
That's what
think-
Ryan got for blowing whistles.
Yeah, he's
I
getting
think it was-
extradited to the Amtrak.
All right, let him tell a story.
I'm trying to remember what service it was. It was either the Adirondack or the Ethan. Oh, it was the
Well,
Adirondack.
it definitely was not the Adirondack.
Wait,
Oh,
you're in
was
New
it?
York now?
This is
Can you tell me your address right now?
Yeah.
later. But the
Just
thing is,
Walter Hardwell White.
the thing
I
is,
am
is
the
that
teacher.
so the thing is that it was a Amtrak train. No, it was the one. It was the what's the one
was?
that terminates at. What's the one that terminates that? It's the one that currently terminates at Saratoga Springs.
Oh, okay.
Because-
they're running the Adirondack to Saratoga Springs
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, because the thing is that because of the heat issues that CN is currently
CN
having,
can
what they're doing,
suck.
they're running the Adirondack and to Saratoga Springs, and then they're Ying the train, and then going the other way. So I got to
That's
see
cool.
the Ying maneuver,
that's
as
neat.
well as have lunch with the engineer.
That's
It was
double cool.
honestly, and he also allowed because college friend is friends with the engineer. They were like, come up into the cab, Ryan, and so I did.
Oh my god, did you become a hornblower?
Yeah, were you a...
Horatio?
I
Here's
think I know
the
the name
thing,
of the
but-
podcast now.
The thing is that I was, you see, I love making good first impressions, except when online. Well, I do love doing that too, but I often make bad impressions, first bad impressions online accidentally, but we won't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. But the thing is that I didn't say much, and it was really cool, and then we had lunch at a Thai restaurant. So that was the story of Ryan Loebner, the Adirondack, and the Amtrak engineer that allowed him to go in the cab. And also, I caught a heritable. Heritable.
Was the heritable the unit that you went into?
Yes, I went in the
That's
heritable.
cool.
I think that
Um,
heritable
no-
was at North Station at one point. I think that
No.
might have been when Ellison was up.
Probably.
Now, the thing is that Aiden, I am fully expecting a Cheeto P42 heritable.
A CSX Amtrak Cheeto heritable will be in the works when I remember how Radacan works. It's been 2 weeks since I've used it,
Fantastic.
and I forgot
But-
how to use it
But
already.
I am so I've fallen in love with the new term for heritage unit because I've heard like fucking 5 of them at this point, but this one's the best one. But yeah.
Oh my god, I
also-
never ran. Sorry, you can go ahead.
But in other, just one last thing, I'm getting peer pressured into buying 3 Chinese coaches off of eBay.
Do it.
So there we go. And so yeah, this is the Loebner concluding.
Don't ask Tyler what he's been DMing me for the past few hours.
Oh, God.
Horn?
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends on your definition of porn.
I'm not hearing a no.
Well, according,
I can confirm or deny whatever.
I mean, according
Yeah, I think
to
to Tyler it certainly is.
according to Shrimp Billionaire on Twitter,
What?
yeah, every state has their own thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay, yeah.
Words like Iowa was nannies.
All right.
All right, we're not. Let's do Locomotive Versus. We didn't miss anything, right?
I don't think so.
I
Did we
mean,
miss anything?
Tyler, did you talk about
Tyler,
it?
was there more stuff that you wanted to cover, or are you good?
Not really. I just included basically the same thing in college as before.
Oh, okay.
So,
When are you gonna go and annoy the guy from the trolley museum about trading cards?
that's a good question. The museum doesn't open up until October, so if you want to
What?
arrange something before then,
Oh, okay. What the hell?
weather and I think they're moving some stuff around.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
speaking of
whatever.
streetcars, I just have one last little quick thing to say.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize how loud wires are.
Go on.
Like
What do you
Like the-
mean? by-
Please elaborate.
the Shelburne Falls Trolley Museum. Like the wires were so loud, you could hear the electricity coming off of them.
I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah, that's
It was-
not normal.
It was like a whirring sound, kind of.
That's not normal.
It
TJ,
should
we're
be
learning
loud.
that TJ can hear electricity today.
Yeah, TJ, are you sure you're doing alright?
It could have just been the sound of the like 100-year-old pulley going across the wire, like reverberating through the wire. But yeah, I don't
Maybe.
know. I whoa, what the hell?
What?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Oh, the-
whoa, whoa.
Oh, the stream
My-
ended.
Yeah, my YouTube started. I started hearing the majority report, and my YouTube. I was like, whoa, what the?
Yo,
Oh,
I
man,
know
we're
exactly what
getting
stream
a-
we need to switch to.
We're getting
no,
Let's
now the Japan
go.
enjoyers are gonna get their way.
We're doing this, guys. We're doing this.
Yes. Well, if we need to scroll up through the 1500 streams.
No, I'm scrolling down until I find the first.
There you go.
No,
There you go.
I didn't. Never mind. Sure,
Stop.
I'm relenting.
You're
No,
evicted
you-
from the podcast.
You must click it.
All right, are we doing the next thing then?
Yeah, let's do verses. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, it's time for Locomotive first.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
let's do the ear rape again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get pictures of the two locomotives? We have
Oh, I'll get the
let's
B&M
see.
one.
We have
I have the photo of 804. Let me put that back up again.
the Constitution, which is topical. We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
Versus
hell yeah!
the DNRGW P44.
Trying to find a good paint job. Trying to find a good paint job.
I hear cackling. What's going on?
Yes. That's true.
I can't remember.
Wait.
Oh my God,
Oh.
guys! I can't remember
This is-
if
Trading card before the trading card.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's pretty cool. I can't remember if or what
Oh,
led
here's
to
a good pick. Here's a good pick.
what led to me
The
making
Constitution.
yeah.
Continue, Ellis.
I can't remember what led to me putting these two together. I think I was mad at the P44 for something because that's usually how this starts. Usually what happens is a locomotive, usually a Pacific or a Hudson. I get annoyed with it, and then I put it against 3713 to be mean to it. But yeah, that's I don't remember this. This has been in here for a really, really long time.
I feel like we can blame Weibold.
I mean, we can, and him being like too good at verses, and me having to,
Bring the OP engine.
yeah. Well, here's the thing though, with the rule changes in, well, I guess verses itself is not quite the same, or is relatively similar to what it used to be. But with the rule changes to like the other game modes, I feel like it's tougher to be OP these days than it used to be. Unless you're part of
we can
the
test that theory.
yeah, unless you're part of the Four Foamers like super pack or whatever you want to call it.
The super pack.
Yeah, the Four Foamers dynasty. In which case they just win everything.
Can we just throw C62-2 against the Constitution now?
I mean,
Dude,
give it
nothing
enough
looks
time,
over
and
time.
it's gonna pop up as the next verses because Ellis is gonna get upset at it.
You know, that's a good point. Let me put it in the list.
I'm just gonna go to the list and see it pop up on that.
So
It's already there. So
shall
okay,
we
yeah.
get this
Yeah,
show on the
who's
road?
representing what, by the way?
I'll do 3713. Why not?
Okay.
I'm gonna be the first person to lose with
Well, hold on.
3713.
Well, no, I've done that before. Ryan gets first dibs.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No. You know what? You take 3713. Fuck it. I've dubbed this engine Kyle.
Oh god, is
the
it gonna
P-
punch a hole through drywall?
The P44 is Kyle, and he is officially my steed.
Okay. See, this is. I thought we were gonna do myself versus
That's a
Tyler.
penalty.
But
Oh, Ellis, do you here?
no.
Ellis, you take-
This is better. This is better than the alternative. I thought it was gonna be me
What?
with 3713 for the millionth time and Tyler with the P44. But this is a better outcome than that.
This is a better outcome. I want to see how this ends up.
Yeah. And with that in mind, I will give I think we should give the starting point to Kyle, because Kyle is at a distinct disadvantage in my mind.
No, he's not.
No, Kyle is
We've-
gonna win.
We've had 2317 on here, and it has not done great. But despite that, Kyle will triumph. This time I've got it down. Axel. Wait. Hold. Fuck. I'll call Axel loading.
Axle loading. Okay.
Good call.
Does 3713 have axle loading, TJ?
Hold on, sorry.
I'm going for the P44s, right, not the F3s.
Yeah, you're the P44s.
Yes.
Indeed.
Is what is 3713? The P4A?
Yeah.
Yes, you are
yes.
P4A.
P4A. Okay. Sorry.
Or no, you're P4.
P4.
What is this?
Yeah,
This
this is
P4A?
that's the far right. There is no P4. Well, okay, technically P4A, but
What does the stat page say? What is
steam locomotive. It just calls it a P4.
Okay,
it just
it's
lumps
a
everything
P4
together.
then. That was too much effort.
Axle loading?
Axle loading.
Yeah,
if
axle
you have it.
loading.
I do have it.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Wasn't surprised.
My axle loading is 68,900 for the P4.
We were 100 off. Right now.
54,800. I think I called the wrong stat.
No,
That's fine.
you
No,
won.
you won.
That's good.
Oh.
Lighter is always
yeah.
better. So
Oh right, because minimum weight array. Okay.
Yeah,
wrong,
first-
wrong one,
yeah.
Alice.
first
Wait,
point for
You know what?
the P44.
While we're here, minimum weight or rail.
Mini-me weighty rail, 116.
Yes. What is it?
Hundo 16.
89.
Yeah, this is about how I expected this to
Oh
go.
my god, my favorite Strasbourg engine!
Hey, Ellis?
Yep.
You wanna? I think I know why you hate this thing.
Oh,
I think I
a vestibule?
It's Yampa Valley Mail.
yeah
Oh,
yeah it is.
yes.
Yeah it is. Yep. Yeah, that is in fact probably why it first came up. So yeah, there's one of them on the Yampa Valley Mail. F that
Yes.
train. F the Obster Vestibule. Go ahead,
Right.
Ryan.
Style point for Obster Vestibule.
Shut up.
Overall wheelbase. 65.48 on my end.
77.58.
TJ, you probably shouldn't have posted one that has a bunch of stats on it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, does the Constitution just have?
Yeah, it just
Oh,
yeah.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
yeah.
Did I win that one?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, okay, sick. We are so back.
Yes, we are so back.
We are so back.
Okay. Give me, shit, fuck, hold on. I
I don't
promise
think
to
that's a
do
style.
so back.
What's that?
No, but I built that in Kerbal Space Program.
Give me, tell me your driver wheelbase.
My driver wheelbase. 14.
12.50.
This thing is so it's itty bitty for a Pacific.
Jebediah looking at the shit from 34 after the shit
Okay,
from 33
engine-
drove on the...
Engine wheelbase, go.
36.92.
33.67.
33.67 wins. The smaller engine prevails. 5 points up.
Don't curse me, Alice. Or jinx me. We are on our way. What are we looking for? Shit. Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
Oh, he's running out of good stats.
There's plenty of good stats you can do.
0.38.
What is it?
0.38.
Oh, 0.37.
Oh no!
Goes to TJ.
3713 wins
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
oh, yeah.
by 0.01.
Oh, God.
Okay, I guess I did jinx you. Mission accomplished.
That's a shame.
Is it?
It's all because Ellis reported you to Discord TOS.
Well,
Wait, he
I
did?
no, I
No, not
reported
you,
Tyler.
I don't like this image, and I'm in it.
Because Tyler posted the
Oh,
picture of the
Tyler,
option
delete the
vestibule.
image. Delete the gift. I'll have one better.
Wait, he did, or all I see is the photo of the Yampa Valley.
Yeah, well, I deleted it.
Oh.
I
Okay,
didn't
okay.
actually report it, but I deleted it.
Okay.
Stop.
Anyways, oh god, I'm about to get my ass handed to me. No, we're not. Okay, go.
I'm gonna
You
have
can't
to go
stop
with,
us all.
Dang, I'm like afraid to say anything.
There are so many things you can win. This is...
Let's go Robert Lamacina's power computation.
There you go.
Bum, ba, bum.
12,600.
17,394.
Yeah, there we go.
No one likes a show off.
Same as plus
doubt.
superheater.
Superheater surface? Oh no, same as plus O.
Yeah.
Oh, 14,868.
20,873.
Oh, good fuck. Okay, hold on. We can still pull it out in post.
Same as above plus substitute firebox area for great area.
70. Yeah, this is the same one. 74,812.
99,840.
This thing is fucking. What does Steamtown want to do with this? Well, we'll discuss later.
Move the world.
Yeah.
Scrap it.
You know what they should do? They should sell it to the Berkshire and Eastern. More on that later.
Actually, just sell it to Brightline. More on that later.
What else are we? Here, what else would you like to slaughter
Oh god.
Kyle with?
Oh god,
Which
tractive
one?
effort. This could... Tractive effort.
Oh, don't. He has a wife and family.
Don't be tractive effort. You're gonna lose that TJ.
Tractive effort 44,596.
TJ?
Tractive effort is 40,918.
Ah!
Did I
Okay.
win the point?
Yes. You won,
Yeah,
you
you
won the
won.
point
Just.
because of the little drivers versus the mega drivers.
It's
Literally in the name.
The Mega
Kyle,
Pacific.
go on, Kyle.
it's because the Yampa Valley Mail.
Go on, Kyle. Okay, shit. Oh, good fuck. Good.
I don't know which
fuck.
stats he's called, but like you could probably definitely do another weight stat or two. I think
You've got it's 6 to 4.
Give me tender loaded weight.
that's a good one.
Tender loaded weight.
Hey.
240,800.
Is bigger good here or smaller? Smaller, right?
Smaller.
Yeah, 183,500.
Nice.
There you go. This is... And it's 7 to 4.
Oh,
Has he done any weight stats, Tyler?
yeah, he's done a bunch.
Uh,
That's how I'm losing.
Well, he's done mostly size stats.
Yeah, like length stats and stuff.
give me.
No.
Factor of adhesion.
Uh-oh.
Oh. That's You go first.
No, that's not how this works.
3.60.
5.12.
Those are
Oh
both
my
bad.
God.
Yeah, wait, well, how do you... Which
It's-
one's closer to 4?
The 3.6
obviously
is...
3.6.
Yeah, 3.6
Yeah.
is much closer to 4. However, those are both quite bad.
To be fair, they're both Pacifics.
That's also true, but still.
Kyle's giving it his all.
Sure is.
He's singing, he's dancing 5-part harmony and full orchestration, things like that.
Dancing, walking, rearranging furniture.
Oh god. Okay, hold on. Don't call me Shirley just yet. Oh god, I realize that, like, I am rapidly running out of things.
Engine weight, yeah.
Give me... Tell me about your firebox area.
Oh, God.
320.
Oh, damn it. 317.
Wow, that's alarmingly close. That should not have been anywhere near close. Well, it's 5-8. TJ's got the ball again.
Let's go fluent tube length.
Fluent tube length. 20.
Same.
Okay, it's a tie. It goes back to Ryan.
No.
I didn't think I'd get this far.
Oh.
Okay.
Do gauge.
No, that's not. Shut up.
What?
Don't listen to
Okay.
East.
Builder.
Don't
Don't listen to TJ.
No.
Don't listen to anyone except for me.
Builder.
And Tyler.
Country.
Thank you, Ellis.
Country.
Observation your best.
Can we
Okay,
rank the
hold on.
countries on Locomotive Versus?
Hold on. We're gonna do.
TJ, since you said the Red Devil was racist,
Here,
we do South Africa.
give me. What is your great area?
Great area.
That's not a good one. No.
Is it great or not great? I don't know.
What?
66.9.
63. Damn it. Okay.
Okay. All right, TJ has it back again.
Evaporative heating surface. I'm going to go the other way down the list.
3,654.
What?
What's
Yeah.
evaporative
Oh,
or
my.
combined?
I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry. 38.48.
Okay,
Oh dear.
that was pretty close still. These two are actually relatively evenly matched, which is kind of insane.
Superheating surface.
778.
966.
Okay,
Whoa,
it's
Raggy.
8-8. It's tied.
Let's go combined heating surface.
4,432.
48.14.
Okay, TJ's using math to his advantage. Love to see it. It is 9-8. We're 3 points away from style points.
Evaporating heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
228.66.
285.88.
285? Wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
A fella.
I agree, Shortline, I agree.
Huh?
What? Uh-oh. What's going on?
What Michael said and they were agreeing.
Oh.
Anyway, carry on.
Same as above plus superheater percentage.
Didn't we already do that stat?
Oh, did we? I thought we just
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, no, we did,
Oh, I'm running
I
out of...
think.
Yeah.
Did we do all of those in that section?
No, we only did the first two. Robert Messina, then the superhero percentage.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, that's not what I thought. I thought we only did the first one, but... let's do same as above plus substitute firebox area for grade area.
We did this one.
What? You just said we didn't do this one.
I am.
Wait, no.
I get.
Hold
Did
on.
we do three of those power? I know
Hold
we
on.
haven't done power L1 or power MT.
No, we haven't done
I don't know.
those. Hold on, hold on. Hang on. Hold tight. We did plus superheater percentage. We did not do firebox for grade area.
Oh, we didn't. Okay.
We did super.
Sorry, I think.
But not firebox for grade. Okay, yeah.
74,812.
99,840.
Yep.
Oh damn. I didn't mean to. I was not trying to pull a fast one.
No,
No,
it's okay. I also got confused.
Yeah, me too.
They are confusing.
Power L1.
17,108.
36,423.
That's a hell of a power L1. Alright, we are at 20 points total. You can go to style points if you want, or you can carry on.
What's this?
It's 12-8 in
go
favor
on, I'll go
of the
for it.
B&M.
I'm gonna go power MT.
Power MT. 705.25.
1149.86.
The fact that this thing is so heavy and still has a power MT over 1,000 is kind of alarming.
Stop it! Stop it! He's already
I know
dead.
I'm simping for the locomotive that I put in here, but every time I see it, it goes long enough without me seeing these numbers that when I, when I see them again, it's like, oh my god. We need to make a batch of trading cards that's just like Legends of the Royales or Legends of the, Legends of the Loco Dome, and it's just the locomotives that have been extremely impactful in the Loco games.
I know what we
I
must do to
dream
this engine.
of the legends of the...
D62.
Yes.
My mom's calling me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Tyler, take
Little
over.
bit-
Give Ryan the ball, please.
No, no.
Little does he know, this gives me time to...
Little does he know, I'm going to switch over to C62 too.
You've
Little
activated
does
my
he
trap
know.
card.
Little does he know that I'm activating my sleeper agents.
Yeah, it's actually actually, we contacted TJ's mom to call him mid royale.
Yeah, to throw him off his game.
Yeah. The next objective is actually going to be kidnapping TJ. We are rapidly approaching his position. However, we would have been there earlier, but the MBTA was 30 minutes late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that goes.
Yeah, something about like a devil bridge being stuck open. I don't know.
A Doivel.
The doy though.
I guess we'll just wait for Tisha to get back. We probably should vamp instead of just sitting here in silence, but that's
Damn.
just me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Anyways,
So do you know Vaporeon?
No,
Oh my
So-
god.
no, stop.
So there
was
once
born
were
one
preserves
morning.
of raspberry that I portioned on a fork for free for a friend who can't catch rabies. The possum at my window. Soon may the marsupial come for
All
tea
right,
and
no,
crackers
we're
on
not doing
the
that.
nom. And when
See, if
I'm
you
gonna
put on
tell
the
you,
Tokyo-
yeah,
I appreciate the creativity. However,
Ellis, if you put on the Tokyo cam, Tyler and I can name every train that goes by.
Foamer. I mean, I could
Listing
name
off
them
the
too. They
points
won't be
of
correct, but I can
C62
name
too.
them.
It won't be correct, but I can give them names.
Yeah,
That
like-
one there is
it's like
John.
Kyle right here.
That's Steve.
Yep. Mark.
That's Kyle's long lost brother. That's C62 doing a
Again,
man's
I'm
human
so
spirit
sorry
on
for
the
singing.
Tokyo
I
cam.
just realized that you needed a vamp.
No, how
and-
dare you? How
I
dare
don't
you
even
sing?
know what a vamp is. Ellis, what's a vamp mean?
It's a thing.
What's the
Oh,
thing?
basically.
Filler? I can provide filler. Filler? I was filler once.
No, but for real, if we're gonna take a minute, if we have some time here, let's carry on with the chain of thought that I had a second ago, which is what would we put in a Legends of the Locodome batch?
All the
NG-15.
113s, no?
Unfortunately-
Yeah, only 113.
Yeah.
There would probably be at least two 113s. The
Wait.
Let's see, what was the first one? The Reading 113 that won the first Royale,
Yeah.
and probably MIDI 113.
C62 113.
Was that a thing?
What is,
No, but
What is
C59
that?
113.
Ellis, you
and
do
so
need
is
to do
D6.
Ellis. You do need to do a trading part pack that I know someone made the edit of just oops all 113s.
Yes.
Just the whole pack.
Yeah,
Speaking of
that'll
trading
probably come
cards.
someday. What's up?
Speaking of trading cards, have they arrived?
No, not yet.
Boo,
I'll
you should,
check
like,
again.
sue the USPS.
Let me check. Let me
But-
check UPS.
By the time that this goes up, they might be here, they might be available.
Allegedly, they're going to be here on Monday, so I don't think
Oh.
like this should come out.
Aren't they already in like Warwick?
They're in Warwick, yeah, but I don't think UPS delivers on Sunday, so they didn't get here today, so they're not going to come here tomorrow. So that means they have to come here the next day, which is lame because I want them. And I mean, it takes me a couple of days to number them all, and then sort of get them into whatchamacallit. Number them all and then randomize them and get them into packs. Which, it'll be a little bit easier this time around, because I won't have to worry about doing... shoot, what do you call it?
Shenaniganry.
Yeah, like the guaranteed variety and things like that. I won't have to worry about that, they're just all going to be randomized packs. But, yeah, hopefully they'll be out sometime this week. Fingers crossed. And then we'll do Locodome games for Locomotive versus Shenanigans stuff. Although people have asked for a screenshot competition, so I might do that in between.
Yes. Hey Tyler, can you finish the C57 by screenshot competition?
No.
Okay, can you finish 10 rivets by...
10 rivets with 10,000 polys apiece.
Yeah. No, that's rookie numbers. We go 200,000 parties.
Says, well, I don't know. I never counted.
Not really a math guy.
I'm
But
not a math guy either.
I think we'd also have to have the AC9 in. Wasn't the AC9 the winner of the Royale of Royales?
Something good. Yes! Goal!
Ow.
Sorry about that.
No,
Thank
you're
you,
not.
East. I sure do love my left eardrum, like, getting destroyed. Possibly my favorite activity.
I think East is watching soccer. I don't know. Maybe he might be.
How'd you guys guess?
Oh, good
Well,
lord.
I don't know. I don't do American sports, so I have no idea if football's in season or not. So
No, it's Inter Miami versus Kansas City, and one of our players just hit a beautiful header. Yeah,
But like the
trying to
other kind of
find-
football. This is
Yeah,
the
the good
rest of the
football.
world kind of football.
yeah,
Or-
or soccer as the British call it.
Yes, it's their fault, really.
Yeah, association football is somehow shortened to soccer because football was shortened to sock. Because
Sock.
the British school kids are stupid.
Damn. Get wrecked,
Okay,
Harry
but, like,
Potter.
have you?
tell us how you truly feel.
Okay, how I truly feel?
External screaming.
Yeah. No, if I tell you how I truly feel, you won't be able to hear out of your right ear then.
How he feels is goal.
I don't know. We're still doing fella, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, TJ's on the phone with his mom. Sometimes it just be like that. It's funny how this happens every time we try to do a thing. First it was you,
Oh.
now it's TJ.
So, why did the cookie feel sad?
I don't
Why
know.
is my son
Why?
sad?
He was feeling crummy.
Oh, ha ha ha. I'll do my...
Oh no.
There's a series of jokes that we kept doing over the CB radios during the West Virginia trip. Mostly to torment Dean, who was usually the person on the other end of the CB radio. But
Dean? I was Dean once.
no, you weren't. We started off with so what do you call a cow with no legs?
Utterly
Ground
useless.
beef.
Ground beef. Very good. What do you call a cow with 3 legs?
Ground beef.
Three-legged beef.
That would be lean beef. What do you call a cow with 2 legs?
Your mom.
Exactly.
Time to read the Ellis quote of the day.
What is the quote of the day?
Like you didn't want this to happen. You're in your Kevon face.
Oh god. Wait, do you have just like a random Ellis quote generator or something?
No, that was you. That was, what, a little over a week ago?
Yes.
That was Thursday.
I think I've said it at least once more now because East keeps buying stuff. It's
Can we really blame
Speaking
the
of
man?
which, let's go check those auctions.
it's alarming. I can blame
Can
the
we
man.
really blame the man?
I
He's
can,
just-
and I am, and I will
the girl
continue to
behind
do
the
so.
slaughter. The C62 behind the slaughter. I can't believe I was one blunder and half a point away from not having this.
You were one Tyler's assistance away from not winning. Because him coming in and being like, actually, he should get half a point for the stupid cab getting enclosed halfway through the service life.
I mean, but
With a block of concrete.
it counts.
Unfortunately. Someone someday is going to figure out how to break your guys' hegemony, and it's going to be wonderful. And until then, the four foamers are just going to keep winning royales. And
Yeah,
by the
his
four
name is
foamers, I
Ribald.
mean East, because you're the only person who's actively playing in them.
Again, we need to have Ogillies like do a royale. Speaking of Ogillies, winter. Ooh,
Yeah. Get an Ogillies update, please.
good news. Ogillies update. He's doing a lot better.
Well, that's
Really
good.
commented. Yeah, well, I won't spoil the rest, but Ogillies is doing good.
I'm going to assume that he just, like, was debilitated from the heat because it's Arizona and everyone should have died by now.
He's in like the cold part of Arizona.
There is no cold part of Arizona.
There is. It's in northern Arizona.
No,
They're at,
no,
like,
there's not.
80 degrees instead of 100
The
degrees.
80 degrees is
Yeah.
not cold.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Floridian. You're like,
Okay, Floridian
it's
is like-
only 275% humidity outside, and I need a scuba suit to get to school. Isn't the weather so nice?
Floridian derogatory.
Yeah, exactly. There is
Fair,
the
though.
Floridian,
Speaking of which,
the
speaking of which,
disambiguation
how you guys
page
how
on
you guys gonna enjoy Hurricane Lee?
pizza pasta babadabopi.
How are you guys preparing for Hurricane Lee?
Oh, we're not. Here's the thing. We're supposed to be at the Ren Fair that day, so
Oh, she's just gonna pray the house doesn't get blown
Yeah.
away.
exactly.
It's like Goya. Where's the house?
This is the disambiguation page for Floridian, and there's like in parentheses Amtrak, and then there's in parentheses derogatory.
Actually, you know what? Y'all have inspired me to take a look at the Weather Channel. Oh,
I
storms
can't
literally-
wait to see which alien movie is on the Weather Channel.
I can't wait until Ryan gets to contend with like Hudson Valley winters, because boy, they are something.
Look, it'll be fine. I'll wear a jacket. It'll be okay.
Oh, you're gonna need a jacket. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, it'll be so cool. I'll have my jacket. It'll be cool.
You're
Yeah,
lucky that you're
maybe-
tall. You'll be able to see over the top of the snow.
Oh dear. It'll be fine. I'm sure. It'll be fine.
So who wants me to live stream me running the C62 back and forth?
Nah, not me. Not during the
That's
show.
too damn. Okay, but like we're running out of filler talk.
We can.
Nope.
There's no such
Hold
thing
on.
as running out
I
of filler
found
talk.
something.
Alright, you guys want to play War Thunder?
No, let me show you this. Hold on a second.
Yeesh, you wanna get a friend for?
I mean, Alice, if you're
Nah,
looking for
I'm gonna
something
open
to
this
show,
and I'm gonna tell you to buy whatever it is.
I mean,
No.
Alice, if you're looking for something to show, then I humbly show, I humbly request, or dare I say, bring to your doorstep, bequeath before you.
Tyler,
Um,
you should buy this, Tyler.
What are you sending?
If you take a look at Horseman discussion.
Oh, you put it in
if you look
discussion.
at-
Oh, just this image.
Yeah, if you're looking
Yeah,
for
okay.
something
I'll
to
share
show,
that with the. I'll share that with the class.
thank you. I feel like he would be a lovely addition to the podcast.
This is our second guest. This is guest 2.
Ellis, do you have the option to open Discord on a second monitor or no?
I don't have a second monitor.
Oh, print.
I've never had a second monitor.
Seriously, I thought you did.
At work I have 3, but here
Maybe
on my
that's what
my
it is.
desk is not large enough to fit a second monitor. It's just the one that I've always had, and I can't get a different one because every modern monitor is humongous. It was
Oh shit, that's not the buy link.
it was very difficult for me to find another monitor that fit on my desk when I was in college. And then when I got back to this one, I had to go back down to this size because it's small. So, I'm used to that. I play games in a window, so I can never see a goddamn thing. And when we play Hearts of Iron, I can never tell how many nukes I have because the UI doesn't scale properly, and it just hides that part behind the map.
That's
Or behind the,
amazing.
What's the thing in the corner? The world tension icon.
Hearts of Iron is a totally not broken, very optimized video game. Just don't go past 1944.
I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for Paradox's version of The Sims to come out. They're making something like that. And now it's too quiet. What the heck happened to TJ?
He's fine. He just slipped into an alternate dimension. He was getting
the back moves. Well, you see, Tyler and I's plan is working to make this a forfeit by PNM.
I always wonder how people don't pick up the phone and go like, "Hey, sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you back?" Like, is that a skill that no one else has anymore? Because I do that a lot.
Okay, but if your mom calls you and she said that, like, and you said that to her, like, I can see the chunk letter coming in from work.
Yeah, well, but you're on the phone, so like you're good.
You don't understand the heat-seeking chunk letter.
Here's the thing: half the time I don't even pick up.
How are you still alive?
Because Mom lives like 20 minutes away and we're Rhode Islanders, so I never see her. But it's usually like in the middle of an under construction stream, and I'm not gonna stop the stream for, it does the same as me picking up and saying like, "Hey, I can't talk right now." You know what would happen? You know what happens when I don't pick up? I get sent a text that's like an explanation of why she was calling. It's a great new feature that phones have where you can tell people that don't answer, like, if it's important.
Oh,
You know what new feature a phone should have?
What?
Being able to automatically purchase an HO Brush Division Point Yapa Valley 2 car set.
Listen, if I could get my hands on an Observe Vestibule for less than $1 million, I might consider it.
Okay.
But this is a brass 2-car set. It is $1,195 for these 2 cars, and I'm not about that. That's like half of a Volvo.
Ellis, it has free domestic shipping.
I don't, for that much money, the postman better suck my dick when he gets here.
I mean, I can arrange that.
I don't think you can.
I mean, listen.
I bet, you know what I bet?
What?
$20.
Because we do know that observational diagrams exist.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I'm just gonna go. You know what? I'll just pay someone like, I don't know, $50 and get like a 3D print of this.
Okay, or you can
thrown that around before.
Yeah.
Wait, Tyler, don't you have like the 3D model like Blender thing for it?
How much?
I couldn't 3D print that model.
How much would a 3D print of this genuinely cost? Because I want to know how much it would be to make one and then like hit it with a sledgehammer.
In N scale, probably like $10 at most.
Okay,
honestly,
I'll do that.
I would say it
But
would
in
cost
HO?
less than 100 for HO.
Yeah.
I could talk with my buddy, and he would have a good idea because he's already done HO passenger car prints. Hell, I'd probably just send him the files and he'd print it and just be like, okay, here you go.
I mean, here's the thing. I would love to make make the Penn Central Observestibule real. So if there were to be a run of these, then I would gladly partake.
Making this into a financially viable proposition is a very dangerous idea.
Again, I just want one that I can just like take my aggression out on.
Okay, but what if we paint it up in Providence Northern colors?
That doesn't make it better. That it's trying to hide.
What if we paint it up in PR colors, Tuscan red?
That doesn't matter. It's just trying to hide.
What if we put your face inside of it?
That makes me want to smash it even more.
That's not how figured that was gonna be. Yeah, what if we put it inside the last pineapple cup?
then I will take it out and then smash it. I don't.
What if we glue it to the last pineapple cup?
Then I will remove
On
it
the
and then
PS
smash it.
telling you.
What if we permanently stick it to the pineapple cup without a way for you to take it off of the pineapple cup?
I don't believe that's physically possible.
Who needs
It's
arms?
possible.
Anyway,
You will weld it to the pineapple cup.
I feel like that would be difficult considering.
I mean, okay, here's what we do. We make it out of cast iron.
How are you
Weld
gonna?
it-
Are you gonna? You're gonna cast it now? We were talking about 3D printing it. We're just.
Yes.
We're gonna
I'm gonna
friggin'.
cast a 1-to-1 scale of 1, attach a rocket booster to the back, and give it your coordinates.
Okay. Will
An
it kill me
investment
upon
in a
landing? Is the
fucking
goal for me to die?
ballistic missile.
I feel like an end scale thing. That's larger than most bullets. Well, I feel like it's larger than all bullets, but it, including the
Well, that
casing and
depends
everything.
what you define as a bullet.
My 357 millimeter handgun.
Yeah, that says otherwise.
It's shooting observ vestibules.
What colors are these logos? Because I think that would be a very cool thing to match them. Oh, hello. Okay, cool. Gentlemen, I have logo colors now.
For what?
Michael.
Uh-oh. You're painting
yes.
Michael?
Later when I know how to paint.
Alright, so who are we gonna vote to become the scabs?
The what?
I don't know. Because I would like to move on.
Yeah.
TJ typing.
Where is this guy?
The thing
Oh,
is
yeah.
that I'm cutting danger.
Mom
not
won't
cutting
stop
danger,
talking.
but like
Mom won't stop talking.
Again, the skill of like, hey, I'm in the middle of something, I gotta go. That's just not a thing anymore.
spiral counterclockwise.
But I mean, when you're
clockwise.
20 minutes into it, then it just seems, when you're 20 minutes into it, it's a little bit strange to have to bail out then, because the excuse works a little bit less, because it's like, well, you were in the middle of something, but you took 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
Speak of the
free?
devil
Did you
and
make
be
it out?
I'm free.
All right. Whose
I
turn
love
was
my
it?
mom. I love my mom. I love my mom. I love my mom.
Nothing bad happens to TJ after this podcast.
Okay.
TJ's mom
Okay.
lives like 10 hours away. TJ will be fine.
Okay, so she'll be there in 4 hours.
Okay. Hold
She'll
on.
be there in 15 hours probably.
So what? All right.
I think.
I
Style points. Let's go to style points.
Okay, we'll go to style
points.
points. Well, we got to do judge's choice first. Driver diameter.
Yeah, mama. Just kidding.
driver diameter. Oh God. Hold on.
80.
Wait on drive.
80. Nice.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Oh, driver diameter 67.
Heh.
Oof.
Freight drivers. Oh, it's a point
Yeah.
for the P4D, the 3713. Who else has a judge's choice?
Let's do weight on drivers.
Weight on drivers.
What is it? Mine is 160,440.
TJ?
Sorry. What was that? I
Weight
got
on
pinged.
drivers. 160,000, and then yours is?
Weight on drivers is way higher than that. 209,500.
TJ, I have a question. Do you still have the race in like 15 minutes?
It's not it's just like a practice race, so it's not like essential that I make it. So it's okay.
Got it.
But wait, question: who wins the weight on drivers? What was your
Smaller,
bias?
smaller drivers. You won that. Tyler, do you
Hey.
have one that you want to call? Tyler?
Ellis weight computation.
Oh, okay. Ellis You're gonna make them do math?
Yes,
After all this
What do you
time?
do?
I chose
Alice
violence.
Okay,
What-
Ellis
how
Demeli's
do I
weight
do that?
computation is weight on drivers divided by engine weight. So break out your calculators, do weight on drivers divided by engine weight. Let me know what you get.
All right, and it's divided by.
Weight on drivers divided by engine weight.
All right, divided by engine weight. All right. What are we looking at? So nice that you've created your own, Alice. You're moving up in the world.
I
I
sure.
can't wait for it to be on everyone's on every stat page.
Yeah.
Okay, mine
Have you
is
proposed it
zero
to me?
point. Mine is 0.614.
0.614. TJ, do you have it?
What was
Let's
it?
go!
The who? The what's that?
The Ellis Demeli's weight computation, the one you have to do math for.
Shit, I have to do math? Alright, let me...
God damn it!
I hate math.
I mean, it's almost like I warned you.
Yeah. There's something already in here. Did someone do it for me?
No, I mean, I didn't, I forgot about the spreadsheet. That's a thing. That is also a thing. Weight of drivers divided by engine weight. Yours was 0.614, you said, Ryan?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's the number to beat. 0.614.
Okay, I'm doing the math.
Alright.
Smoke is coming out of my ears.
It's okay. You're gonna be okay, I think.
I don't think that's normal.
It's 0.62.
0.62. Whoa! I did not expect that to be better than the thing. Okay. 0.62.
Yeehaw.
That wins. It's 15-9. Style points. Who's got style points?
I've got one.
What is it?
I do.
We've heard of they were green. Now get ready for they were red.
Excuse me? Oh, what the heck? I
In
don't.
this count.
I don't.
Yes.
Is that just like a rusty driver?
I don't know
axle?
what's
What
going
was
on
that?
here. Actually.
No. It's red driver
I will
axle ends
say-
on Railroad Grand engines. Hold on.
Yeah, but that's not a...
I don't know about this. No, I think the paint is a wash between the two of you. Although you don't have the
No, I think 450.
Toilet seat Herald.
toilet
Oh.
seat. Yeah, the toilet seat Herald is one thing, but 3713 in this picture has the fancy B&M logo. It takes up the whole
Oh,
header.
yeah, it does.
It also had like a million cool ass schemes.
Okay, actually, I
Yeah.
found out. The red axle bearing is to denote whether or not that's the main driver, and like it's actually for better access to lubrication points. I think.
Why would
Lube it up.
why would they need to do that? Okay, sure, whatever.
I don't.
You know what? Whatever. I'll give it to the P44. I'm feeling charitable. Because the
Thank
P44
you.
in this image also has white walls, which in this image the 3713 does not. This is the one we're
Oh,
using.
do I have to go off of that image?
If that's the one that you're picking, then yes.
But
you
it's
have a
all the
different
same
image that
engine
you
though.
want.
Okay.
'Cause I was going to use.
Oh, I think I've got
elephant
extendo
ears that
stack. I think I've got an extendo stack.
I think it's a smoke deflector.
You have, yeah, it's a
But yeah, it's a
weird
thing.
deflector machine now.
Okay,
I
cool.
have. I was named by a child.
You were named by a child. A very patriotic child, as a matter of fact.
A Boston
I've got-
child.
I've got thermic siphons.
You both have thermic siphons.
Yep.
Fuck. Hold on. Shit.
I'm,
promise. I'm gonna
I'm
find
in
something.
a constant state of flux in the 21st
That's
century.
not. Well, you're in the
Not
preservation
like-
conversation. You survive.
I do survive. Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
Oh, I
there's
think
a
I
train-
just
there's a
have
train-
to
there's a-
call.
There's a trains model of me as well. But I think there's
I
a train
think-
model of the other one too.
There's not.
Rip.
Oh.
I think I have to call it defeat. Like I don't know what else this thing has. Like it's literally like it is. There
It
is
should
no.
get a style point for Yampa Valley Mail.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, that's a negative style point.
No,
These-
that's
all I have.
500 style points right there.
Shut up.
All
I
right,
hate
hold
this.
on. Maybe the wise boomers of Facebook will have.
I can
something.
see.
You've got like
I can see two things that are really neat about the P44s.
Oh, headlight
gonna-
covers. I don't know if that's worth anything.
You do have a visor.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I've got
Um,
that.
Can
Yeah,
I
like-
say the funny?
What?
Yes,
the
it's funny.
linear lenses.
Yes,
Yeah,
nice markers.
the linear Fresnel
oh.
lenses for the marker lights. They are special. I got to see them at the CRM. They're neat.
Oh,
Did you get to
sick.
touch 'em?
Okay.
I didn't touch them. No, they were up on 20 and 491.
Oh,
I did get to.
I'm-
I did help Webold cook some breakfast sandwiches for everybody in the cab of 20, though. That was fun.
nice.
I am so sorry if I'm resorting to all of y'all for my style points because
That's how it
one,
goes. No, it's fine.
Rio Grande is not a road that I specialize in. One, and two, this thing, as cool looking as it is, literally looks like it's got nothing going on.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle. He's just nothing going on up there for Kyle.
There's no light behind the eyes.
No thoughts, head empty. Yeah.
Why does 3713 have the long smokestack?
I don't know. That's just what they wanted to do with it, I guess.
That's just like your opinion, man.
That's. I mean, I'm sure it's a thing. Tyler, do you know if it's a special thing?
I don't think it would have a very special thing. I haven't heard of 3713 having any interesting bits of geometry in the smoke box.
Well,
Excluding, of course, a certain apparatus, but
after this disastrous and bifurcated royale, then I think that we're done.
Okay, I have one last thing to say. Is the C62 would have won this?
Okay.
yes. Put me in, Captain.
Put that on.
I'm not gonna write winner C62. Loser, everyone who had to listen to this. Loser, TJ's mom.
Hey, whoa! Don't bring her into this.
No. Winner,
No,
TJ's
no.
mom. Loser, everybody else who had to wait.
That's actually fair. TJ's mom was a wonderful lady. I like TJ.
Oh, see, I thought you guys were gonna continue without me. That's why I wasn't too upset about.
No, we did not continue without you.
Oh, well, you know what?
We
I
have
hope
plenty of flaws.
I hope there wasn't too much dead air.
We tried.
Dead air.
There was, let's just say that it was a true cabaret in the amounts of acts that we pulled out.
I mean, out of revenge, if you want to delete my discussion topic, feel free.
You're not getting out of it that easily.
We hate you.
I don't want to get out of it. I was just saying. I mean, maybe I need to be punished.
All right,
I don't
I'm
know.
voting for the 37.
Oh wait, that's not the pink message.
Oh,
You want-
TJ, hang on. TJ, whoa, buddy.
Multiple points now.
TJ, you want to be punished? You've been a bad.
Oh, stop!
What on earth is going on?
This is definitely one of the episodes of the podcast.
I am.
It is one of the
You thought
episodes
you
of
were
the-
tired?
I'm
This has been a
literally
podcast
I am
about-
terrorizing my roommate with all of this. This
Good.
is
I blame
Good,
TJ.
Okay.
So I'm voting for the 3713. I feel like Tyler is voting for the P44. East, you're the
Pity point
tiebreaker.
for the P44.
I feel like East is gonna.
I'm gonna vote for the better thing, the P44. Actually, I'm gonna vote for the C62.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
actually, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna vote for the P44.
D62.
Of course, East votes with the Four Foamers super PAC instead of with his own father.
Hey, listen, okay. As much as
You're
you
banned
are,
from New England now. Just so you know
the
that.
B&M suck you fire.
Excuse me? As someone who lives within walking distance of the B&M, you need to take that back.
Yeah, no. You see, I would come to you. However, all of the former B&M tracks are currently blocked by a single tree.
No, there were 6 trees, asshole.
Oh no, it's turning into a yelling match.
I'm sorry that the B&M could not figure out how to remove 6 trees from the tracks.
Ellis, mom and dad are fighting again.
Unfortunately, the B&M is dead. They got hit by a
B&M still
tree.
existed, they would, the B&M still existed, they would have run right through it.
Yeah, damn right.
B&M is dead, and
The B&M is dead, and
and
so are
Central.
200 Hoosick Tunnel workers.
They would have made the passengers get out and lift the tree off the tracks.
And they would have been able to, because in those days, men were men, and something.
Yeah, there wasn't like chemicals in the water that turned the frogs gay or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You know,
so let's talk about the current state of the B&M then, TJ.
Testosterone-less.
Oh, let's talk about it.
That's what happens when you merge with the main central.
Whoa, wait, don't delete all my things.
Sorry, I accidentally cut it instead of copying it. There you go. You can still click on them.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
this is revenge.
Yeah, exactly. I said that. Like, you said no.
I gotcha.
So, I'll
Yeah,
segue
we
this.
never. Go ahead.
I'm just going to segue to this by saying that my conversation earlier with the Shelburne Falls Trolley Museum is that while I was riding in the speeder, one of the first Berkshire and Eastern trains went by with an NS leader and a BNSF second unit.
Oh, okay. And that would have been
Normal
one of the... What time of day was that, by chance?
Just like 2 p.m. on a Saturday.
That's weird.
And it was like a trailer on flat car.
Okay,
It was it was a combination of single stacks, double stacks, and
okay.
trailer on flat car.
So that's 23K then, or 22K, or whichever one it was.
I don't know. It was going east.
It must have just been... Oh, it was going east? Oh, yeah, so it was just super duper late. That's funny. That's the train that we usually catch coming out of the Hoosick Tunnel, and the one that's going to be rerouted when they finish the work by Voorheesville, which is the other article you have. Not to segue for you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, and that train, I saw it, and I said, "Hey, Kat, look over at the train." And she saw it. And then the guy driving the speeder goes, "Oh, I missed it." I was like, "Damn, dude, sorry." I didn't tell him that there was a BNSF unit on it because he might have been...
Damn it, Tyler.
Yeah, that is really... That's unusual, to say the least.
Yeah. Also, the B&E has been causing me commuter rail troubles because the first time I've ever had to wait for a freight train was within the first week of B&E service.
Oh, Tyler, you found a half-steam engine I talked about earlier.
Guys, could you focus on the podcast we're trying to do? Instead of browsing eBay or whatever.
Jorge knows those.
Because you're doing one and not the other. If you could competently do both, we wouldn't be having this conversation. TJ, continue.
If I'm that boring, just shout at me, jeez.
This is giving me Guilford vibes. This podcast tonight.
It should be.
It's true because it's Berkshire and Eastern, baby.
Timothy Mellon's very own podcast. Anyways, continue.
So the B&E is going to be an amalgamation of G&W equipment from all over the United States. They're taking some stuff from O'Gillies' home road. They're taking some stuff from the P&W, I believe. They're taking stuff from pretty much everywhere. Norfolk Southern, Pan Am. It's going to be an interesting railroad for sure. And I don't think they're going to be repainting anything anytime soon either. I mean, I've seen in my commutes in the last 3 days alone, I've seen mismatched Pan Am NS units on trains and stuff. So, including the one that my train had to wait for. But one thing that is a plus from all this railroad development in my region is that lots of track work is happening.
Yeah.
And in Voorheesville, there is work commencing to reconnect the former Voorheesville running track to CSX's line.
So what this will do, and I mean, Voorheesville is not exactly your neck of the woods. It's actually much closer to Ryan.
Hello.
Hello. Yes,
Yeah, it's connected at least.
It's sort of the. It's near the west end of Selkirk Yard.
Have we been to Voorheesville? I feel
we
like
haven't been to Voorheesville. We've been near there. Remember when we went to that set of bridges in Fuller's, with like the one
Yes.
bridge over the other bridge over the road.
Yep.
So that is just up the line from Voorheesville. Voorheesville is between
Okay.
there and Selkirk Yard. And yeah, there's a cutoff that runs from basically the former D&H line that lets you come into the west end of Selkirk Yard. Instead of going into Schenectady and then going up and over the B&M, you can cut down, run through Selkirk Yard, and go over the B&A, which was sort of the crux of the whole deal. Because you can run a double-stack train through State Line Tunnel, and you cannot run a double-stack train through the Hoosick Tunnel. So, yeah, they're finally getting on doing that work. It'll still probably be some time before they get it done, but once they do, that means only 2 trains a day probably through the Hoosick Tunnel instead of the 6 that we have now. Or, sorry, 4 trains instead of 6, my bad. Possibly even less than that. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a shame. I feel like the Berkshire and Eastern's going to be like a blessing and a curse for the B&M line.
I mean, I wonder if it's going to be sort of a blessing for the railroad, like in the infrastructure and things like that, but definitely a curse for the line as a whole and the activity over the line. Not because of its existence, but because of the things that created it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's sort of what I've been thinking about, and also I just am not the biggest fan of G&W, and another G&W property effing boxing in Vermont, which I feel bad for Vermont, not because they're surrounded on all sides by G&W and it's kind of a monopoly, but also because they have like the Vermont rail system, which is cool and based and like state run and stuff, and now that's what's surrounded by the G&W properties.
Yeah, the G&W, I like the fact that the Berkshire and Eastern's going to have like an amalgamation of equipment, but I wish that it wasn't G&W. I wish it was like its own thing, or I wish like the state was doing it or something, anything else, honestly.
I'll say for the 100th time, the states should have just banded together and bought Pan Am instead of selling it to
Oh my
instead
god.
of it being sold to
That'd be
G&W.
so cool. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Maine would probably be happy about it. Maine really likes its trains. Connecticut also does too, but they don't really have a stake here.
Massachusetts like has a love-hate relationship with its trains, you know?
Yeah. As you have learned.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Massachusetts' trains.
Exactly. Alright, Tyler and East should probably go before they decide to go off and make their own podcast. about browsing Japanese stuff on eBay.
Alrighty. Speaking of buying passenger cars, then
Right line. I'm kidding.
somebody did a very good thing recently, and that somebody is the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society, and that very good thing is spending money on buying passenger cars, because the last 2 years have taught them something, that having a steam locomotive is great.
Yes.
Having a
Agreed.
steam locomotive you can run on the main line is amazing. Having a steam locomotive that runs on the main line without owning the passenger cars for that is a little less than amazing. So, Fort Wayne over the last few years, they've gotten a few cars together, but recently they acquired 8 new ones, which are mostly of New York Central heritage. Actually,
I think they're all Empire State Express cars.
1, 2,
Or former
3,
Empire State Express cars, I suppose.
at least 7 of them are Empire State Express
Wow,
cars.
that's a lot. That's almost...
Which-
I mean, I don't know what the train set for the Empire State Express was, but that's got to be most of it.
Yeah, that is most.
Actually,
of
I think
one.
it's like no. I think that is like I think they have a genuine set. Like
No, they don't have a full set. I don't think.
Can you
Oh.
collect them all?
They should
yeah.
they should
Guys,
make
I
a New
need
York
a
Central
train.
Obser vestibule so I can burn it down and not feel bad.
Oh my god.
don't Ellis. I've got the power in trains.
I will be the PRR in this scenario.
Oh god.
I'll send them a bill.
So, Fort Wayne, their plan currently, they're expanding the Indiana Road experience. We discussed I think last podcast about how they got a station in their most recent round of acquisitions.
Oh yeah.
The plan is, they're going to restore these cars as well as a few others. It should cost them about 1.2 million to restore the
Goodness.
entire set. Cars are already roadworthy. They're blue carded, I believe. Well, not blue carded, but they've got they're interchangeable.
Okay.
And so right now they're raising 160,000 for their initial capital. The plan is to bring at least one car into service next year, and slowly bring in more and more. Depending on how quickly they can build up momentum for funding the program. As well as they look at it as, because right now, Fort Wayne, they lease almost all of their passenger cars for the experiences, which does cost significantly more than owning the car itself. At least now. It used to be before the pandemic, it was easier, cheaper, all that, but now things have changed in the market.
Interesting.
So, with more of their own cars into the fleet, they can make more money, which can be reinvested back into the fleet, and it's just a perpetual cycle that builds up momentum.
Yeah, line go up, you might say.
Yes, line gober.
And they do have, I do think this is for their benefit, as they do have a bunch of legitimately other cool projects as well. Not saying that this project isn't cool, but they do have, what is it? I do know they've got, aren't they restoring a Mikado?
Aren't they buying
Fort Wayne,
614 or something?
634, I think. I don't know if that is to operational condition or not, but I know they have, and they also had they have that SD 7 or 9 that they just got done.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. We love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the people with your favorite kind of locomotive too, Tyler. So I expect you're really jazzed about this.
Yeah. Well, it's an assured future for Steam on the main line, at least in some capacity.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be the ones doing Freedom Train too.
Definitely.
Oh God, I feel like. Look, here's the thing. I think if we really unfortunately, I don't think as much as cool as it would be for a Freedom Train 2, and if you throw any amount of money at it, I don't think the population would accept it. I legitimately don't.
Joe Biden.
It's also
the Freedom Train.
It's also the fact that the first one, the second one technically, again, what made it kind of so magical was the bicentennial, and there was kind of, I think, a much greater connectivity to the American people and the actual country that I don't think we'd be able to rally with this time. But I understand that's getting into politics, and that's iffy, and I don't want to get there, and I'm sorry.
To be fair, with the last one, there wasn't much planned for the bicentennial before the Freedom Train, and then Freedom Train and 3 other things happened, and that was it.
Well, also, I feel like the railroads back then were so much more central to people's lives.
Well, this is true.
People see a train now, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to hold my commute up."
Well, in the 70s, I feel like the golden age of the railroad had still long since passed. I mean, you had more people who remembered it, but I feel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of what I mean. There was still more people who had experienced all the steam and stuff that would be excited for.
I don't know. I don't mean to get in a serious discussion about the merits of Freedom Train 250 or whatever you want to call it, but I just want it to happen. I just want I want to see it run on the main line.
Mango, God bless.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, though, honestly, too, with the amount of people that go out for the big boy alone,
yeah,
does it really matter if the whole country doesn't rally around it? I feel the contingency of just foamers alone will pack the rail, the track side,
I mean, the thing is that you would totally get support from the railfan community, and parents who are kind of don't have anything better to do on a Saturday afternoon with their kids. But and what is it? But ultimately, something like. I mean, I do think that if done correctly, we could have a really neat freedom train, but I don't think it could. I mean, the thing is that showing up trackside, you need to get those people to donate somehow for it to be feasible.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make stops in places and whatever, the exhibition
It's-
cars and things like that. But
It's like the opposite of the Santa train. Instead of like throwing stuff out the back, it's actually one massive vacuum cleaner that sucks the money out.
you have a dude hanging a thing out the window like a collection basket from church, just like,
Yeah,
all
like
right,
a mail,
put
like a mail hook.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Put the money in the
Like
bag.
Yeah,
Get an
Well, we did say
ATS
bang.
yeah. What is it like? Because Amtrak paraded around like an RPO like a couple of years ago. Just get that, like, just steal it from them.
Oh yeah, the
Stamp train.
50th or 45th anniversary thing with 406, and that
Well, I
was
mean,
so
even-
good.
Even before that, they just had like Amtrak has an exhibition train that they just cart around. Is that
Yeah.
Strasbourg for a while?
I think despite whatever the political climate may be, I think there is more than enough support and more than enough desire for cool thing inside and outside of the railfan community for a freedom train to be attractive. Even if it's just even if it's less Americana than the 200th anniversary one and more of just touring train for kicks.
The question is, what would you get to pull it?
Obviously the steam locomotive called the Constitution. Thank you
Okay,
so
and good night.
I mean, actually, there was
We would have
And
the
Michael-
CTC.
Hold on. Go. What were you saying, Ryan?
in Michael's server. We were actually having this debate as what could you theoretically get for the Freedom Train? 2, 3 at this rate. The shipwrecked. The thing is that.
Damn it.
Sure, we do have a fair number of steam locomotives that are currently online and that are coming online that would do the task just fine. But at the end of the day, it would be kind of neat to see the Constitution do it, to acquiesce to your point, Alice, because it is the Constitution.
Yeah, it writes itself. Thank you.
I will
Union
become-
Pacific
look, I will-
E9.
I will become a constitutional originalist
TJ.
if
Constitution.
they run the
Okay,
thing.
Aaron Burr.
Well, here's okay.
Okay, Ted Cruz.
Important.
What?
Okay,
He's a
sweaty.
constitutional originalist anyway. Okay, forehead. Let's
Five head.
go.
No, there are two locomotives that I would want to see on the Freedom Train. One, the Constitution, obviously, because it's the Constitution. 2, 5550, because duck for dinner. Take
Yes.
take the Freedom Train and break the speed record with it.
50. I mean, T1
T1
probably
may
could.
go.
T1 probably has the oomph to do it as well. If
Yeah.
there's any engine
Oh,
to do
yeah.
it, it would be the T1.
Imagine the T1 on the Keystone corridor.
Oh my god.
What is it? I know we were tossing around the joke that they're gonna cart the T1 to Strasbourg at some point.
Oh god, certainly. They certainly will. I mean, Strasbourg is one of the places where it got a letter of marque to hey, you can come here when it's done. They
Really?
sent that to the T1 Trust.
Nice.
So it's pretty much guaranteed it'll show up there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can go. It can destroy. They can redo their entire infrastructure to support a T1.
Yeah.
Well, no, the
Again.
thing is that Strasbourg's infrastructure right now is pretty solid. Because they took the heritage units down there.
Allegedly, if it can
Yeah, but
run a
that's not,
six,
I feel like that's not as heavy as T1.
allegedly the word is if you can take an NWJ there, you can take the T1 there.
But they
That's
did derail it the first time.
yeah, but they figured it out. They also tried to drive it up the parking lot track, so I feel like they learned a lot.
Yeah.
There's the thing is that what is it? I think it'll be very interesting. I do think that railroads are coming, the pendulum is swinging back in favor for heritage, especially at CSX.
This train
And I am totally expecting in the next, when 2716 is done, I am totally expecting there to be the grand announcement that there's going to be a CSX steam program.
it would be
I am
amazing.
Totally.
I mean, they've got to get it
Imagine-
to New England somehow, and that's why
Well,
CSX bought Pan Am specifically so they could run 2716 to the New
Yeah,
England
that's exactly
Steam
why.
Museum.
Well, what I'm thinking is
Through Hoosick Tunnel, of course.
Imagine if the 3713 project got moved to like somewhere in New England.
I mean, I don't even care where it's being done. I just want it to be done. Speaking of which, how are things going with the 3713, Ryan? That's the article that you have.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest.
Nice.
So, as we all know, Steamtown is a place that I hold very near and dear to my heart because there is a certain Canadian national commuter tank engine which is constantly asking for Blount to reason with the ICC woman as his paperwork is in a roundhouse in Canada. But,
Yes.
anyways, that is not who this discussion is about. 3713, which has been taking, at this point, probably, I remember reading about it in a 1995 Railfan and Railroad magazine article.
It's been like
So at
30
this
years.
point- yeah. So, yeah, basically call it 30 years under restoration. And they kind of drop this ball. Honestly, to my understanding, and at least from what we have learned from this server, that Steamtown, there's some big changes, so pardon their pixie dust, I suppose. But I'm going to be honest, like, I don't buy it. I don't buy the fact that Steamtown is going to be going through these big upgrades.
No?
As much as I'd like it to happen, I feel like that the National Park Service does not legitimately care about Steamtown's, like, the operations that would make Steamtown restore at least some legitimacy to the name. I do not have faith in them to deliver that idea.
Sorry, I feel like it's like the National Park Service is not someone who should be operating like a railroad museum.
Well, you're right. You are absolutely 100% right. And that kind of is the crux of my argument in the sense that and also from what I've heard, the culture at Steamtown, and again, I don't work there, and this is what I've heard. This is only kind of my secondhand accounts from what I've heard. The culture there is that a lot of people just use it as a stepping stone to get to somewhere greater, like Yellowstone or something. I pulled that example. That's at least the example that I was given. But I know that there's probably more stepping stones along the way. So essentially, all of this to say, I think that the writing was on the wall when one of the two big previous steam locomotives went down. Because I think the writing was on the wall because I think 2317 was not doing stopped doing mainline stuff in the late 2000s.
I think so. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, because it was pulled with tires problems, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so how does this all relate to 3713, you may ask? Essentially what I'm thinking is that while they've definitely shown hints that they want to run bigger engines again, I mean, 3377 got a new tender recently or something? Or 3254?
They're talking a lot about what to do with the 3377/3254 sort of conundrum, with the fact that 3254 has the bent frame, and whatever. There's been a lot of discussion about making 3377 the operable of the two. But yeah, carry on.
So I think this all points to the fact that they want to do this, and I think there are some passionate people there, but I don't think, and again, returning to TJ's point, the National Park Service, is not the company, is not the organization that should really be in charge of such a money pit. Because let's be real here, that's kind of when we look at the scale that Steamtown operates at, it's a money pit. Right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like most heritage operations aren't necessarily not.
You don't go in it making money. But I do think that especially so I know I deviated way off course, but as someone who legitimately has studied Steamtown and cares about it deeply, 3713 is just one piece of this much larger puzzle, and I think is a more sinister act. I think with them dropping the group, I think it's it's symbolic of either, one, bureaucracy, and two, I think they just don't want, ultimately, I think they just don't want to bother with it as much as they used to. And I understand that there were 2 people working on it beforehand, like at any given time, and that's not a lot. But I think they're legitimately realizing that this thing is probably, yeah, it'll get done at some point. But at this rate, we can't, it's too complicated. We don't want anyone else working on this. So, and we're just going to kind of bear it ourselves and see what happens.
Well, I want to say that, speaking as, I've heard what has been coming out of the inside, so to speak. I want to feel optimistic about it. I know it doesn't look good, but on the other hand, this is something where they just weren't seeing eye to eye for a really long time. And, yeah, I mean, maybe the National Park Service, I feel like asking if that is the right people to run this thing that's a much bigger question. But if there's a lot of turnover, it hopefully means that there's always an opportunity for somebody that actually cares about the place to jump in. And there's been a lot of changes lately, and I feel like, frankly, there's very little room to go down at this point.
They're already kind of at a low point, at like one of their lowest points, or
yeah, and they've been there for a few years at least. And if they're getting some new management in, and if they're wanting to change things, which the breaking of the sort of departure of this group, the changing of the contract, or the relinquishing of the contract, sort of speaks to me, then we could be seeing change that could mean something better. I know it's speculatory, but I feel like if they genuinely didn't care, there's no reason for them to not just say, like, yeah, keep plugging away at it, whatever, do whatever you want. This is something different. So I'd like to.
You know what? I think. Yeah, you're definitely on. You definitely make a good point in that regard. I understand that what I probably just said was, one, probably very misinformed or uninformed, and I was just kind of, and I at least from what I know. But what is it? I will say that what? Interesting. But I will say the one thing is that I remember reading about when Steamtown originally opened, like when the NHS originally took over.
Mm-hmm.
There was legitimate fanfare and legitimate. The person who actually operated York, the National Railway Museum in York in the UK at the time, actually came over for the opening and said it was the most modern railway museum he's ever seen.
I mean, it's got cool stuff as far as its museum side goes, and the back shop at Steamtown it's gorgeous. There's awesome stuff there. I've taken folks there from other that work with other organizations, and they're floored by the machinery that they have at their disposal. They just don't have the manpower to operate or the willpower to do so.
I just have a quick aside about Steamtown. I love how the image for Steamtown, like the steamiest image they have, includes 2 locomotives that aren't even theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, the grand opening, small aside on that part, the grand opening was really, like, reading about it was really fun.
Oh, yeah?
Because, what is it, the radio system that they were using went down, and the scheduling system as well. So essentially what they had to do was they had to scramble to put together a program, and it was apparently so hectic yet so fun, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, and that photo is great, and the fact that something like the National Railway Museum in England exists, I don't know if they have, like, a department of foam, but I don't see why we couldn't manage something like that if we really wanted to. But again, I think best case scenario is having someone that, instead of using it to rotate through, you finally get somebody in there that really cares about it.
What if it became like part of the Smithsonian?
Ask Joe Biden to donate
honestly,
and run it.
You know what? Steamtown is part of the Smithsonian is. I mean, I have no idea like what the funding track for the Smithsonian is.
I mean, it's mostly I think the military pays for most of the Air and Space Museums, so
that sounds about right.
Or the defense industry, one of the two.
I mean, I will say one thing though. like, Steamtown is a legitimate museum. I remember, like, watching a group of tour kids go in there, go through it, and I have never seen a group of more, like, unimpressed kids.
Yeah, I mean,
God,
because it feels dead. Like when I went there, it was just like empty. Like there was nothing going on.
I
Like
feel
it felt like
so...
it felt more dead and quiet than an art museum did.
I feel so bad because I feel like that even from like the internal displays, they're cool.
Yeah,
Like, and it just feels
needs,
so bad.
It needs a loud steam engine chugging around right under it. You know.
Yeah,
it's
and
a
it also
roundhouse.
like, and I do feel like it needs someone who is legitimately passionate about trains to run it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
Like, I
it's
think...
weird because it's weird. The fact that it is in the National Park Service makes that weird because you get people that are rotating through that don't really care about it. But I assume once you land on the right person that doesn't want to leave Steamtown, well, they're gonna, they'll have some power to actually do something.
So, what non-Canadian engines does Steamtown have?
Oh, it has many.
Steamtown, they
Okay,
roster.
so I've
I mean,
only seen pictures of Canadian engines so far.
Those are the only ones that they ran because they started in Vermont.
The thing is that, like, the Canadian... It's my understanding Blount was able... The Canadian engines, one, were just in service longer and therefore were more modern.
Yep.
And simply he had more of them, so, interchangeable parts and whatnot. Two, he just liked them more, to my understanding.
Also, importantly, they're just the ones that people would sell him.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that he was able to get his hands on, and yeah, they were the ones in better condition, so they were the ones that got run, and they were the ones that persevered to after Steamtown moved to Scranton. Which
check that image out.
Yeah.
And
that's an image.
honestly, and truth be told, I'm gonna be real. Nothing in their American collection, aside from the Constitution, could really except for maybe 790 or the main Central 280, debatably, could theoretically do Scranton well.
The Burke?
Yeah, the
Burke. The thing is that the Burke, to my understanding from what I read, the thing about the Burke is that it's just a little too big.
They should restore the commuter tank.
As much as I'd love to reason with the National Park Service woman, that joke is dead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. But anyways, the thing is that would be good, but it can only really putz around Scranton Yard and run the Scranton Limited, unfortunately.
Yeah, well...
So, how much of this is still in Steamtown versus how much of it is no longer
the only things that have left Steamtown are the G5, the 440, which is the Union Pacific thing, which is pivotal to Iron Horseman-isms, and also the Repton, which is the British thing.
Oh, also 2816 left.
2816, yeah. Well, no, that's the G... Oh, wait, 28... Which one is that?
That's an H1...
2816.
The Royal thing.
Oh.
Yeah, Canadian.
The one Mingo gobbles to Mexico City.
Okay, yeah, I forgot that was part of the Steamtown collection.
Well, like, a lot of things you don't realize are... Like, 1218 was a part of the Steamtown collection.
Well, yeah, Blount loved that engine.
Did he?
Yeah, well, apparently. He loved... oh, wait, sorry, what did you say, 2816?
No, 1218.
Oh, 1218. 1218. Oh, 1218. Oh, no, I didn't know that was a part of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
and
numbers.
then the thing is that VMT kind of held it hostage, but we don't talk about that.
I mean, that never made it up there, did it?
No, it did. There's photos of it up there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to find this for you.
Photos of it in Bellows Falls, right? But not...
Found it. Yep, here it is.
But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of the stuff... They've got a lot of small to medium stuff that's American, and then they have the Constitution, and then they have the T1 and the Burke, and the Big Boy, obviously, yeah. But that's a different... That's not going to run anywhere anytime soon.
really funny if it
Again-
did, but
Would
Again,
be.
I hope I didn't derail.
Oh, how dare
anything.
you have a conversation on the thing about your topic?
I'm
How
sorry.
dare you have a discussion on your discussion topic in the discussion topic section? You
Yeah, why are we
apologize too much.
discussing? Why are we discussing your discussion topic?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get too
I think
off
we
track.
should not discuss anything anymore and all go
Yeah,
to bed.
this is the silent podcast now.
Yeah, everyone has
Three,
to
Yeah,
two, one.
Everyone call their moms.
Oh man.
oh my god.
No,
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 now it's the silent podcast. from
Silent
now on.
podcast in 3, 2, 1.
The closing thought. Oh, I ruined it. Sorry.
No, just go. Just do it like you meant it. I was gonna do it
Okay,
if you
so-
didn't.
So my closing thought is that again, 3713. It's been 30 years now. God, it would be so cool to see that thing run. It really would. Like, make it happen. But ultimately, I feel like that this is just another chapter in what could possibly be, in what is, I think, the downfall, or not really the downfall, just the mediocrity of Steamtown.
Let me give
Stagnation
some food for
Steamtown.
thought here. Let me give some food for thought here. This partnership has been around for the entire restoration of this locomotive, right?
Right.
And as Steamtown's other locomotives have gone down, they have dedicated their time and resources towards this partnership and this locomotive, right?
Right.
The only thing that hasn't changed over the 30-year restoration of this locomotive, and the only thing that seems to be preventing any other locomotive from being restored at Steamtown, is this partnership from a certain point of view. Because Steamtown was laser focused on assisting the 3713 restoration, notably assisting with regard to this partnership. And this, by some measures you could read it as the continuing story of the mediocrity of Steamtown. By others, and I think time will tell, especially with what we've been hearing from, relatively speaking, the inside, this really just seems like Steamtown's Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself moment. I sure hope that it is anyway. They have most of the pieces there. They just need to put the damn thing together.
It has a new
You know what,
firebox.
Ellis, you are-
Like,
Yes.
You know what? You are right. Like, again, it's probably because I'm overly tired or whatnot, and I don't. Yeah, you definitely make a good point, in the sense that, and truth be told, and I don't mean to be backpedaling or suddenly like showcasing a weak argument.
Again,
and I
how
hope
dare
I'm not
we have a conversation where we learn something?
I'm sorry, like y'all, I'm struggling. Okay, please. The thing is that I suppose that is ultimately though why Steamtown is, if anything, a really cool discussion topic.
Yes.
Because there is multiple ways you can take it, and the fact that this museum has kind of stayed the same for the most part
Frighteningly.
throughout its whole life, from like the 1960s onward, is kind of cool.
There are
And I
two
mean, I
things.
understand you can make the same case about Strasbourg and whatnot, but like,
Yeah.
come on, it's
The-
Steamtown, it's Blount, it's like funny man.
There are three things certain in life: death, taxes, and the continued restoration of 3730.
Yeah, we're gonna have the heat death of the universe before the restoration of 3713. If the partnership
No,
had kept up.
3713 is going to cause the heat death of the universe.
No, 3713 is going to Mardi Gras. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
The Gulf Coast train is allegedly going to be named after Mardi Gras, which, on the one hand, is like, why would you do this? On the other hand,
Yeah.
it's nice to name things not just like the most generic, immediate thing that comes to mind. Like the top comment, what was wrong with calling it the Gulf Coast Service? Because that's lame. Because calling it the Mardi Gras train is way better.
Sounds like a party train.
Damn right it does. I'm okay with this. They need to take some cues from the Lark.
Yes.
You know, I'm a
I mean, I've been coming up with quite the set of names for the trains on Geiger.
Uh-oh. We need to ask Stadler what they would name the trains.
Reno
I mean,
Party
yeah.
Express.
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Sort of
Go
fun
ahead.
train.
well, one, it's great that we're getting Gulf. Like, they're finally, after harassing them with live streams and other such whims, we're finally getting it. It took us fucking years, but it's here.
Okay, but
On the
I'm
other hand,
still upset
though,
about it.
on the other hand, though, I mean, I do agree. The Mardi Gras, like, I know I gave pushback to the name when it was first announced, but I do wonder, though, on the actual whims of the service. I haven't actually looked into it. Did they get the 2 trains a day agreement?
I don't know for certain. I think so. I think they're doing at least 2 trains a day. Let me... Gulf Coast Service Amtrak.
Well, Alex looks into that. I'm going to tell a story about the Gulf Coast service.
Go
and
on.
Why however goes to Miami? Take your guess why there are no Gulf Coast trains to Miami anymore.
Hurricane Katrina.
No.
Okay.
Line.
No, it's because the shop crews in Miami were too lazy to learn how to do maintenance on the superliners. They straight up refused to do maintenance. So what they would have to do is Amtrak would have to store like 30 superliners in Miami in case something happened, because they couldn't work on them in Miami. So they would have to exchange it and send up the empty superliner on the back of the outbound train.
Oh my god.
And so eventually Amtrak got sick of it and terminated the train in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So what they would do is they would terminate the train in Orlando, back it up to Sanford, turn it around in Sanford, do maintenance in Sanford, and then back it all the way down to Orlando in the morning for the outbound train.
Oh my lord. Well, that sounds like fun. But yeah, they are doing 2 resume service over the route with 2 daily round trips. The restored route has been referred to as the Gulf Coast and Mardi Gras service during planning, with a final name yet to be confirmed. And yeah, there was the Gulf Breeze over this route previously, which isn't a bad name, but also still feels kind of generic. Mardi Gras train.
What's the origin and destination of this train?
It is. It's New Orleans to Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, they didn't go to Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I was hoping that it would at least go to Florida to make it like you could theoretically go like through the South and connect, like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
you'd hope so, wouldn't you? But baby steps, I guess.
Florida's really getting the short end of the stick from Amtrak.
I think. Well,
there's-
I feel like there might be a reason for that, and it's not that Amtrak just doesn't like them.
No,
Well-
the thing is like,
see, Owen.
they had like 15 different surveys to do commuter operations, or like not commuter, but like, you know, state operations in Florida on CSX,
Yeah.
on the ACL, the SBD, family lines when it became family lines, and even on the FEC. Amtrak doing a survey on the FEC to check for availability, like for demand. Demand was so high that when Amtrak declined to host the service, the FEC went and did Brightline.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Those services have to be state supported.
Wait, hold on. There was the Silver Palm, though.
Well, Florida had we had the train to Chicago, which you can no longer get to Chicago directly. You had the one that went to LA, got the one that did the Big Bayou crash.
Yeah.
The Southwest
And Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, it was that one. And there was like one more big Florida train, and it was like, now we're stuck with one, like, it's technically one service, even though it operates 2 trains.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Silver Palm would be bunched into that, but regardless, like.
I mean, the Silver Palm is Miami. What is it? It was Miami to Tampa.
Yeah, and like that would be such a good train to have, because
Yep.
Berlin's not going to open up the Tampa extension until like 2030 at the earliest, is what I've heard. And with the way the Orlando extension's going, as we'll talk about in a second, it's not looking like 2030 is going to be the deadline anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, small side note. They were considering turboliners for the Silver Palm in Florida.
No. They weren't considering it. They actually ran them. I have photos of turboliners in Miami running the service.
Okay, so that means that like these things like had to come down somehow.
Yeah, they ran turboliners in Florida. I don't know if I can find the photo. I know it's in my DM with Siebes somewhere. You can ask me to find it after the podcast.
I mean, like I do feel like again, just on a larger surface, the fact that like we had to like, I love Amtrak, but the fact like I hate like the way the bureaucracy around just getting a new service because this seemed like such a no-brainer, but the fact there was so much kickback and so many hoops to jump through, like,
Yeah. No, I get
it's
it.
a bit disheartening.
Yeah. No, I know. It was so much trouble because they're just dealing with class ones down there and states that kind of don't like them. It's I'm glad that they got this little bit, but I hope it is a prelude to more. And I
Continue.
do want to just jump into Florida, but I wanted to talk about these the train sets and stuff that they're ordering and the superliner replacements, which apparently have elevators in them, but I don't know very much about them.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so I was on All Good Things Start from Facebook, as we all know from the 113 on Homestead sub. So there were photos. I'm not sure if they were leaked or not, but actually, you know what? I think I can pull it up because I posted this in Rail News in Michael's server, and I barely ever post there, so hold on. So the thing is that these are apparently... There was a former rail, conductor, or a former head conductor in the comments, and he absolutely trashed these things.
I can only imagine.
So the thing is that if they are permanently connected, then I think we can all know why this would not go great.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a good idea.
Right?
Yeah. However, they did suggest the idea that these would be able to be added and subtracted on, which then I think makes them a smidge better. But I think ultimately, like, if they're going to be one connected train set, then we're fucked. Like, the thing of it is oh my god.
There's a turboliner in Fort Lauderdale next to 153.
The idea of this is that you have... Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, let me put the turboliner on screen. The idea of this is that you have a sort of... basically a section of train which is handicapped accessible. That you can move a handicapped person along the length of, 6 cars or whatever in the core, and then you can tack on extra cars, I think. I think that's the idea. But...
inherently like that... Huh.
So would these 6 cars be semi-permanently coupled, or would they just be 6 specific cars that they have to keep in this order? Because, God, that's gotta be a pain if, the middle one breaks down and you've gotta, zero in.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. I don't think it's a good idea. But the idea is they want, their designs were a 10-car single-level train set or a 9-car bi-level train set, which has accessible coach and sleeper space, and dining and lounge facilities in central areas, so that you can get, you can get around it if you're in a wheelchair or whatever. Each passenger will have access to more than one accessible restroom on both train set types. Basically, they are trying to make them as ADA compliant as possible. They're trying to make them as accessible as possible.
I totally get that. But Amtrak, that would work in, let's say, Europe or another country where it's government owned and the government cares about it. Unfortunately, Amtrak doesn't tick both of those boxes.
Yeah, but Amtrak does have a lot of handicapped or older passengers.
No, and I'm not discounting that, but I'm saying, I like the idea of it being a 10-car set that will always stay together. If one car is out, you have to take up the whole set. However, Amtrak doesn't have the capabilities to support that type of operation.
No, I don't think so. I think they need to be able to swap out individual coaches. I think they need to be able to scale the size of the consist easily.
Okay, here's the second question. How is the Empire Builder going to work?
Poorly, probably.
Are they going to run a 20-car long Empire Builder?
The thing is that again, we've historically, as we've learned, these just don't work. These don't work for long distance trains. And I feel I think there is an admirability for making these as ADA compliant as possible. But then this kind of just raises the kind of obvious question of just, why couldn't you just in this day and age, can you not find someone savvy enough to take your idea and compact it all into actual rail cars and not this set thing? Because I'd imagine you'd be able to do that pretty easily.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to just make these a set.
Yeah, just like put couplers on them instead of permanent perma.
Yeah, I don't think
the
they're
suction couplers that they use in Europe for like DMU sets or EMU sets.
Based on the diagrams. It's not like they're open gangway cars either. They're just cars. They look like superliners, but they're designed for more ADA accessibility, which makes sense. It is fine and is good and is what they should do. But making them train sets doesn't seem like the best. It doesn't seem like the most sound plan of action. And I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it here a lot as devil's advocate, but it just genuinely, top to bottom, just doesn't seem like the most sound plan of action.
I mean, essentially, what you're doing is you're just making it. You're making a turboliner, pretty much.
Long distance.
It's no, like if you're gonna go all the way with making these semi-permanently coupled cars, don't go halfway like this. Like if you're going to make them semi-permanently coupled, go all the way like turboliners, like DMUs or EMUs in Europe. You know, like the high-speed trains over there.
Yeah, but don't do that.
No,
because that's not a good idea.
No, but I'm saying if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it, because you're just going to get the worst of both options.
No. You're missing a really important point here. Amtrak can still, hypothetically, if you have not a self-contained train set, but a block of cars that needs to stay in the train, you could still tack on additional cars to that. Hypothetically. These things should be compatible with existing single-level and bi-level equipment. The bi-level plan, I believe, as far as I understand, has the pass-throughs on the upper level, which, just like the superliners. So, in theory, you could have this block of 9 cars, or 6 cars, or whatever it is, and then if you need more capacity, you add more cars to that. You pull out superliners or whatever, and you just tack them on the end. If you have a fully self-contained train set, then you can't do that. And that I feel like is...
No, I'm not saying a fully self-contained train set. But like this set of 9 cars being its own train set, and then you can add 2 or 3 superliners onto the back if you need. But these 9 cars will always stay as these 9 cars.
But I thought you were just talking about doing it like the turboliner.
No, not like that. Like, I don't mean specifically like the turboliner where you have a cab on each end. But I'm saying, like, if you're going to go all the way, like, use the technology that we have found, or that, you know, other countries, let's say in Europe, have found, to make these as efficient as they can be while being semi-permanently coupled together.
I'm not sure I understand what the functional difference would be.
I will say, on interjecting, I feel like this is... Can we talk about how I think they're... Did they get rid of the Sightseer Lounge?
That's what the gallery is, I imagine.
Oh, wait.
No, because the gallery is going to be on the first floor.
That would be the galley, as in the kitchen.
Galley.
Yeah.
Yes, I do not see a...
But there is an accessible lounge, which I assume would be the lounge car.
Because I think they call them bi-level lounges.
Yeah. So you have, on the single-level cars, you don't have... Okay, there is an accessible diner/lounge. On the single-level train set, which I assume would have something, but the single-level train sets have never really had domes or you know, that sort of thing. The accessible lounge on the bi-level train set, I feel like then would have... Because it has lounge seating. So that's got to be like a gallery kind of car. Like a observation-type car. I could only imagine.
I will also say, though, I mean, ultimately, it is very, I will say, if anything, like Steamtown, it is a very interesting discussion point.
It says that there is going to be discussion as to whether or not train sets is the right way to go, and I just am glad for that. You know, I'm not breathing this immense sigh of relief. I'm just sort of acknowledging that I'm glad that there is still discussion to be had because it's very
They
important.
should open this up for public comment.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Let's just bring back the slumber coaches, please.
Bring us into Congress right now.
I don't know if the slumber
Ryan,
coaches were.
having been inside of a slumber coach, I can see those are the most anti-wheelchair cars I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. That was my next question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you've been inside a slumber coach, but Ryan, for those who haven't been, it's like stairs to get up onto the upper decks, and the hallway is so thin that I could not stand straight. It would actually compress my shoulders. So I to walk through the car. I had to tilt sideways. And Alice has met me. TJ's met me. I'm not exactly.
You're not a wide individual.
You could not easily fit a wheelchair there. Maybe a scooter, but not a wheelchair.
A scooter. You get everyone on those little, the little scooters that you have for when you break your leg.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is one more thing I'd like to mention because we also have they're ordering more of the Aereo train sets, which are the things that are probably more appropriate as train sets. And they also are looking at restoring an additional 60 cars to the active fleet.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
good on them.
Thank
They're
freaking God.
Okay, can we please bring the lounge back to the Texas Eagle, please?
Yeah.
I do want to point out that Europe does have sleeper service trains that are wheelchair compliant to European ADA standards, or their version
that's
of ADA
good.
standards. And they're single level cars that are just small coaches.
Yeah,
so I'm sure Amtrak can find a way to do this that isn't semi-permanently coupled, that they can just do individual coaches.
Again, I don't even know if I feel like if I had to hazard a guess, just following the line of thinking here, and I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I want to follow their line of logic here, which is they're making a sort of semi-permanently coupled block of cars to act as the ADA-compliant central core of a train so that all of the ADA-compliant cars are always right next to one another, and they can then tack on non-ADA compliant sleepers on one end and coaches on the other end like they do. Functionally, aside from being more of a pain on logistics with regard to empty equipment moves, if you have a block of these 6 or 9 cars or whatever it is, that all have to be together to comprise a train set, which I feel like is excessive, but I digress. If you have the car in the middle go down, yes, you're going to you could move in a single additional car to get that figured out, but it's still +1 or -1 whole train set, quote unquote, that is going down. Because you have to pull that other single car from somewhere, and it's probably going to be another train set that they bought as a spare to pull cars from. So why not just pull the whole train set instead? You know?
It also depends on pulling the whole train set, but it also depends on if you pull a single car, what the damage is. Is it if it's a wheel crack or something, you've got to probably pull the whole set out. You can't just take the one car out, because if you leave it in, you're gonna, even if it's empty, it's still gonna cause issues.
Well, I don't follow.
No, I'm just saying, I think the best course of action here would, instead of replacing one car, you could just replace the whole train set.
Which is sort of the logic that I'm alluding to here. Which is that I feel like they wanted to make sure all of the cars in the center of the train were handicap accessible. Therefore, they're going to make them semi-permanently coupled so that when you are, sort of having to take a car out of service for maintenance, or out of service for maintenance, you're really taking the whole train set out of service for maintenance and bringing in a replacement train set. Again, I don't think it's the best idea, but if, say they order 10 of them and 8 of them are in service at a time, and then you have 2 spares, say the middle coach goes down on one of the ones that are in service, so you pull a coach off of one of the spares, now you still have, only one spare consist,
Well, you'd also only be able to use them on point-to-point routes where you have one on each end of the point. Because let's say you have a consist go down in,
Wait, what do you mean?
LA, in the LA to Chicago train. Let's say you have this would never happen because, of course, they would both be stationed at LA and Chicago. But theoretically, if the train to LA had a car breakdown, they would need to have a consist in LA.
Right, but they have to
They
do
can't-
that anyway with replacement cars.
No, but then let's say the next LA train also has an issue. What are they going to do then?
But that isn't a problem that is exacerbated or solved really by the train sets. It just is. When I took the Southwest Chief,
but like it's easier to have 3 superliners on standby to replace any given car, as opposed to having 3 train sets just as a backup.
Right, and I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that you still have to have 3 units of train, whatever that may be, and because Amtrak doesn't care about their train composition really, and this in the modern era, in the current era, that can just be 3 superliners. But in the future, if they always want to keep together this accessible core of the train, that means they're gonna need to have 3 accessible cores of train available, 3 essentially units of train available. The one thing I'm skipping over is if you lose, say, a diner on one and a coach on another, separating it out so that you can solve them both with the single spare set that you have. But, I mean, getting to your destination and not having the appropriate car to replace the one that's broken down is something that Amtrak deals with already.
I mean, the other issue is if, God forbid, but something like this derail, then, that's one whole train set. Even if only one car gets damaged.
Well, then...
But I guess that does relate back to what we've been talking about.
Yeah, then it's just... This
But
becomes
also,
spares.
Amtrak's maintenance isn't very fast, let's call it that.
It just strikes me as this is a way for Amtrak to force the trains to remain in a certain composition however they can. If the line of logic that I'm following is accurate, which it may well not be, it speaks to me like Amtrak doesn't trust itself to arrange the trains in such a way that it will be handicap accessible if they make a mixed consist, or if they make it possible to make a mixed consist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I hope they don't do this, but I guess I understand the logic here, and if they are semi-perma-coupled or whatever, I mean, these things, they're going to be able to come apart. I don't think they're going to be held together by drawbars, and even if they are, there's a way that you can in fact detach a tender. But
we gotta scrap it.
So, yeah, no, I expect more discussion, and honestly, I feel like hopefully sanity will prevail, and we will get individual coaches that can be a little bit more flexible, even if it's functionally really the same. Aside from on the logistics back end. But speaking of somewhere where sanity never prevails...
I just want to say one last thing on this.
God damn it.
Theoretically, if you have, let's say, the last 6 or so feet on each car be identical, you could technically have any car mismatched anyway, so long as the diaphragm and one elevator per car is lined up, which wouldn't be an issue.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my point. I'm not even saying that they should be able to be mismatched between, this 6-car arrangement. I'm saying I feel that there may be some concern that if they are, which of course they are, compatible with current superliners, then you could have your 6-car set of accessible cars with a superliner stuck in the middle that someone can't get a wheelchair through.
May I suggest we move to the land of Alan Smith and citrus?
Yes, please.
Time for a 10-hour discussion on Brightline and bridges.
No.
So I would like to point out a fun fact. Despite all of these articles being different, 4 of them all use the exact same image, 2 of them use the exact same video, and 3 of them start with the exact same 10 words.
Oh my god. What are the 10 words?
A railroad bridge across the St. Lucie River in Stewart will be closed for, and then it just goes, will be closed, and then goes for different things.
Oh my god.
versus the railroad bridge over the St. Lucie River will remain open.
Oh,
So it's like, and then the trains article all use the exact same Brightline image in the Orlando station. It's funny.
so what is going on with Brightline? Give us the abridged answer.
All right. So basically, the bridge is going to be down at hours of the morning that no one should be awake at, and by that I mean midnight to 3 a.m.
Okay.
And no one should be on a boat.
Well,
To do rail joint welding along the bridge and on the bridge span itself. And the more important part is that the Coast Guard has approved changes to the bridge's regularly scheduled operation.
oh, thank God.
In accordance to this, Brightline has to update the bridge app they have, which has already been used for Orlando, was used to settle the dispute with the Orlando drawbridge.
They have a bridge app?
Yes, and it's actually very useful because it tells you exactly when the FEC trains are going to go over.
I'm gonna go download the Brightline Bridge app.
Oh my gosh.
It's literally called New River something. I don't have it on my phone anymore. I deleted it because the app stopped working. But it's really useful because the Brightline trains, the bridge goes down for 5 minutes, and you can tell once the FEC train when like an hour and a half is blocked out for the train to go through.
It's coming sooner or later.
Yeah, well, it's mostly because it is literally next to the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So like, chugga.
They're slowly accelerating.
So on top of, it's really cool because on the website, there's also the bridge website. You now can select it doesn't tell you the name of the bridge. It actually gives you the geological coordinates of the bridge, which is weird. I don't know if that was a bug or not. I haven't checked.
I feel like that's just what people in boats would tend to use.
Maybe. There's also now an LED board on the side of the bridge that tells you when the bridge is going to be closing and for how long. However, I expect that to break in about 10 seconds because salt water and electronics famously go well together. The one in Fort Lauderdale, which is very well sealed off from ocean spray, still breaks about once a day.
Oh dear.
Or like it either breaks once a day or it just like half of the LEDs just stop working and they just don't care enough to fix it because you can barely make it out what it's supposed to say.
What is it supposed to say?
Like a drawbridge will be down for 1 train or 2 trains or 3, and then it'll give you like a time estimate.
Gotcha.
But sometimes it's like drop the 3.
Oh,
so,
okay, fair enough.
So the ones in St. Lucie will also display a timer, which is cool, but also it's like, oh, this is the end of the train. Ooh, the timer's counting down. You can also call a hotline, which will tell you if the bridge is up or down, and we'll want to call that hotline. Don't call Conrail. Call 772-403-1005.
For the bridge.
For the bridge, yeah.
It's glad that they're ironing out all of this before.
You can not just call. You can also apparently text STL to 888-384-3837 to get a update on whether or not the bridge is down. And you can also use Twitter, but who uses Twitter nowadays?
You mean X?
Yeah, X.
Chemical X. What were you gonna say, Ryan?
What is it?
Good thing they're ironing all this out before something.
Yeah. So glad they're they're just ironing out all of this before something bad happens again.
Ironing it out by force because it was going poorly up until now.
Yeah, unfortunately,
happened to Kennedys.
This specifically is probably what's holding back the opening of Brightline, considering it was supposed to open last week.
Oh.
The Orlando extension. However, the other article that says it will remain open says it will remain open for trains, or when it will remain open except when a train is crossing.
Okay.
So like.
Well, that's good. And that tends to be how that works.
They're going to be testing the new Coast Guard recommendation from August 15th to December 17th, and a permanent schedule should come in 2024, depending on how the results of the Coast Guard test go. But because of this, Brightline's schedule to Orlando, which was supposed to start on September 1st, has been delayed indefinitely as they try and work out a solution.
SMH.
It will also affect the FEC already trying to cross the bridge, which is going to be fun. And then, of course, it'll affect the boats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no surprise.
No, the boats can just go. Just full send it.
Yeah.
Alright, is that the news?
No, there's more.
Here is the news.
So there's also certain fixed times where it will be open. So like Monday through Friday from 8:55 to 10 to 9:10 it will be open, and then Saturday, Sunday it's some more times.
Alright, well I'm not gonna get in a boat down there anytime soon, so I think I'm good. I don't need to know all the details.
Also, the bridge will now have a permanent bridge tender, so
it didn't?
RIP to the guy who has to walk out to the bridge. Well, because everything was automated.
Oh, well, it didn't work too well, did it?
Well, no, I mean, it never killed any boaters, but like...
Well, that's the only thing in Florida that hasn't killed someone, it would seem.
The last time an FEC train went off a bridge was when they bombed it in the 60s.
Okay.
The Angels can do no more.
Yeah, no, we strikes or something. Because of that, the cancellations, Brightline has refunded all tickets purchased through the indefinite suspension. Additionally, they're also giving everyone free premium credit, which basically means you get a free first-class ticket.
Nice.
And if it was time sensitive while you were taking the train to Orlando, they're partnering with Avis to give you 35% off a rental car to drive there. And in the order of date booked, so if you booked on the first date, you will be the first to know. Like if you booked a ticket for September 1st, you will be the first to know about when tickets go on sale again.
Okay, and then when they update the usernames, you'll also be the first to get a new one. So the current deadline or like opening day is September 15, but that's been pushed back like twice already. So it was pushed back twice to September 15, so I don't have much hope for it. It's just now occurring to me what Brightline has been doing.
What?
They 1309'd it.
I was about to say...
They sold the tickets before the thing was done.
Yeah.
I think all the track is done. Like, they've completed the 125 mile an hour testing.
Yeah, and so was 1309, allegedly.
Okay, to be fair, 1309 was never tested during that period.
But, yes,
Like,
the primary reason they say so is because the Coast Guard said, fuck you.
Fair enough. But, still. I'll still blame them for this.
Yeah, and then the next article to use the exact same image of the Brightline train in the station. It says the county commissioners to vote on a plan to help fund the Sunshine Corridor Rail project, which will basically be the corridor from their Orlando station to the Orlando Convention Center, and then down I-4, which we should nuke I-4, but that's a different story.
Well, then the traffic will get worse.
No, getting rid of I-4 will solve all of the issues, because then you had 10 lanes to all of the Strodes. And then down to, I think Universal is still the current bidder. The whole Universal Disney thing flip-flops like every other week.
Yeah.
Because I know someone in Brightline, and this may or may not be classified information, but because I'm not saying anything, I'm not saying anything about like Disney is still actively pursuing bids right now with.
You should use the right of way of the old Wilderness Lodge Railway or whatever.
Come directly into the Magic Kingdom or whatever the hell.
Yeah, well, the railway still exists. They just closed it down so they could like work on a new Tron ride, but I think it's back in service now.
We need a cross.
No, I mean the
old one.
Yeah, the abandoned like standard gauge one.
Yeah, we need a cross-platform transfer between Brightline and the monorail.
I mean, that is
if
they go to Disney, that is entirely what would probably happen. Is the monorail.
Okay, fine. Let me say something more ridiculous then. We need a cross-platform transfer between Brightline and the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
No, and the steam engines.
No, I agree with Big.
Imagine getting picked up by a Forney.
Yeah.
The only way to get into the Disney park is you have to like get in the Thunder Mountain. Like Brightline has its own Thunder Mountain ride.
Brightline comes down Splash Mountain and just.
Yeah, after the stop before the Disney park, you go into like a big dark ride tunnel and go up a big chain lift, and then all of a sudden you come out and you're in Disney World and you're like flying at like 200 miles an hour.
When you're going up
my God.
when you're going up the chain lift, people are comparing it to Intercourse. Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically, the county's voting on giving Brightline 719 acres, most of which is included in a Universal land transfer, which is basically Universal giving the land to Brightline, because Universal and Disney basically own all of Orlando. And the public hearing, the board is scheduled to vote on the request on October 10 after the public hearing, so we're not going to hear about this for about another month. It's basically saying $174 million in public funds will be used for public infrastructure, but that includes $125 million donated by Universal and other businesses along the Sunshine Corridor. So Universal is not the only one donating to Brightline Sunshine Corridor. There are actually other businesses, which is good to hear. Commitment includes land, which would be used to build a station. The land estimate, if Brightline were to purchase it from Universal, would be estimated at $100 million. So basically, they're getting all of that for pretty much free.
all right. Well,
Yeah, here's what it says the project could take 10 years, so we're looking at 2033, give or take, and take $6 billion to complete, because it'll pretty much be almost brand new. I would imagine it's not going to be 125 mile an hour, but regardless, 80 mile an hour or even higher track.
well, just wait until they cream Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to run over like a Mickey Mouse doll someone throws at it. That'd be funny.
Grandma got run over by the bright line.
This article is
Disney Christmassy.
also talks. This is an even older article about the being delays for the ticket sale. Anyway, and lastly, Brightline estimates that a new bridge across the Stewart or the New River or whatever it's called in Stewart would estimate to be $218 million and 4 years to build, considering it would likely have to be elevated to some extent, which would be really weird considering you'd either have to like go over the highway or like be like route really weirdly across the highway.
No, I think I know what. After looking at it, I don't think it would have to be as extreme as they're making it sound. They would probably just want to pick it up maybe a few feet in the middle, so they don't have to raise the bridge for people in very small boats. You know, they're gonna.
But the thing is I would imagine the new bridge they build, they would not want to have any sort of lift mechanism. It would just
but
be
there's no way they're going to be able to not have a lift mechanism. That's the thing.
Well, the thing is like you can only have a boat so tall with how deep the channel is. So I assume they've calculated the maximum height of a boat can be.
Sailboats would disagree with you.
Oh, true.
So they're going to have a lift mechanism anyway, because the minimum clearance at that location is the clearance of the highway. They're not getting up to the highway, so they probably just want to pull it up off off sea level a little bit, so they have to open the bridge less. That's
okay. So it would be a 16-foot vertical bridge with 90-foot horizontal clearance.
Okay.
That's the specifications laid out in the article.
Okay. Yeah, so that's, and I don't know what it is right now, but that's distance
6 feet
water,
6 inches.
6 feet 6
So
inches.
it would just about triple it.
Yeah, they'd have to pick up 10 feet, which is, it sounds like a lot, but it's probably doable in a short distance because you can stick on a pretty hefty grade if you're only going to do it for a little while.
Well, I mean, also if it's just for Brightline.
Yeah, well, that's true. If they're building a second Brightline bridge right next to the original one, I was figuring they'd be replacing it entirely. But yeah, then they can do even more with that because passenger trains.
It would have to depend, like how they want to run it. Because if they're going to replace it entirely, I would imagine like both bridges. I would imagine they just double track the new bridge.
Yeah.
But they could probably get away with single tracking the new bridge if they're still gonna run like the 7 daily FEC trains that aren't. Well, Stuart.
Personally,
they probably have 2 daily FEC trains that aren't locals that are during the day and not at like 4 in the morning.
Well, given the option, I would probably keep the old one to use for the freight trains because it's flat. Then I would make a relatively steep new bridge that I would double track, that would be, the 16 feet of clearance that they want with a lift mechanism for things that are taller than that. And they could keep it down most of the time and run trains over it, so you could have meets on the bridge, that sort of thing.
According to the article, it says the 16-foot vertical clearance would allow 92% of marine traffic to flow.
There you go.
Without...
Yeah, so they wouldn't have to open that bridge very often.
Yeah, where the current one only allows 22% of marine traffic to pass through.
That's cool that they did those numbers. I was going to be curious about that. I did not expect there to be statistics like that. All right, you have one piece of news left, right?
Yes, and that's Brightline, but slightly more West Brightline.
Yes, West Line, West Rail.
Yeah, no, it's actually Far East Rail.
Oh, okay.
But very, very, so Far East has looped back around.
Gotcha, yeah.
So, funny enough, this article is actually mostly about Texas Central.
Interesting.
Because it's talking about how Texas Central has failed, so how Brightline West is going to fail.
Oh, okay.
However, the difference is Brightline West, like, one of the key things they point out is Brightline West already pretty much owns all of the land, and that's because it's in the middle of the highway corridor, as opposed to, like, going through downtown Houston. So, it's a lot easier when you're in the middle of a flat desert going through a highway corridor as opposed to going through someone's farm.
Right.
But they pretty much talk about how, like, yeah, don't get your hopes up about this.
Oh my god. Get your hopes up. Do a thing. Put the trade in.
I would like to point something out. To give you an estimate on how complex the Brightline expansion from Orlando is going to be, to, like, just outside of Orlando, is the entirety of the Brightline West expansion from Las Vegas to LA is estimated at $10 billion.
Which is more than the alternative, but still not that much more.
Yeah, versus like maybe 30 miles at most it would take to navigate downtown Orlando. It cost $6 billion.
Well, clearly they should just bulldoze downtown Orlando.
Well, okay, like, there's two areas in downtown Orlando that are super pretty, either because they are super old and super racist, or, like, not pretty because they're racist, but it kind of has that, like,
pretty
vibe
because
to it.
they're racist.
Racist aesthetic.
It's I love that racist aesthetic.
Core.
It's giving racism.
Yeah, no, that's where all the true whistleblowers lay. And then, like, downtown Orlando is actually really nice because it's really walkable, and they have, like, CSX run straight through the middle of town.
Are you saying that Edward Snowden is racist?
Yes.
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't.
So I have
specifically against people who blow horns.
If your question, does this podcast ever end, I actually can't answer that.
I was gonna say, like, I don't mean to put a damper or anything on the mood, but we've been
It has
here
been
for a
4
long
hours.
time.
The latest plan is that Brightline West becomes operational sometime in 2030 to 2033. So about the time that Orlando is going to finish. And they aim to break ground later this year, which is going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah, I hope they do it. I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, let's do the end of the podcast. So what are our guesses for thing? Also, maintenance away really quick. Trading cards coming soon. Century of Steam is cool. Ryan also exists. That's about it. TJ is a friends and family discount as discussed.
Tyler needs to buy C62.
No, he doesn't.
Right.
Thingy. Guesses for latest train and Amtrak.
I want to say it's one of the California Zephyrs. They've not been doing so hot.
Okay,
recently.
which one? East or west?
I want to say westbound.
Westbound.
Okay,
Okay.
it's this video, Tyler.
Actually, I'm going to say the Keystone. I'm going to say the Keystone, one of the Keystones.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's there's a reason why he's saying that.
He's upset.
Tyler,
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
6.
Give me a westbound chief.
Westbound Chief.
Those-
Westbound Chief.
Typically don't do too great.
Go ahead and give me a 6.
Okay, let's look at the California Zephyrs. There is a 6 that's an hour and 39, a 5 that's 44, a 6 that's 2 hours and 17, and a 5 that's 7 minutes late. Those are not the latest trains on Amtrak. Let's see. There are no keystones on the system because
Damn it.
because the wires
they're all
are
on top.
down. Which chief did you want, Tyler?
I wanted a westbound.
Westbound chief to Los Angeles on time and 5 minutes late.
Damn.
This one's for TJ. There's a Pennsylvanian. It's 5 hours and 14 minutes late. It's not the latest train on Amtrak. There are 2 Downeasters. They're each. There's one that's 2 hours late and one that's 3 hours late. That's not good either. There's a Texas Eagle that's 3 hours late. And did I not cover anybody's guess? No, I got everybody's guess. The latest train on Amtrak is the Southwest Chief going eastbound, 7 hours and 9 minutes late.
God.
Close, Tyler, but no cigar. Anyway.
It picked up that much time into New Mexico. Oh my. They are not having a good night.
Anyway, terminations. TJ, what do you want to say?
What did I put in here?
You didn't write anything down.
Okay. Did I copy it? No.
What do you?
Vert sent something. For a NJT worker who was attacked while doing his job.
Okay. What?
And so there's a GoFundMe because this country is broken. To help with their treatment and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, consider
donating to this dude's medical bills. Yikes. Okay. East?
Trading cards.
Appreciate it. Tyler?
I've got to support the homeboys.
Another
That's
C62
such
posting.
a cool video.
Okay.
Like it's genuinely such a cool video.
All right, Ryan.
Blount, reason with the ICC woman. My paperwork is in a roundhouse in Canada.
It's probably the most that's been said in a short time. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Fingers crossed for Steamtown. I hope good things are in their future. And
What are the points for?
nowhere to go but up. For you and Tyler browsing eBay, sharing links in the middle of the podcast, what do you think they're for? TJ, I can't remember what one of them was, but one of them was a really bad pun. But, whatever, right when we got started. So that's the Terminus podcast. What?
Was it for the phone call as well?
I don't know. I might have given one for the phone call. But it might have been something else. Anyway, thanks to everyone who stuck it out this far, and you guys are included in that, and I am also included in that because I'm going to kill myself.
Me too.
In Roblox.
In CFS.
Thanks, of course, to Wes and Steve. I cannot die in Century of Steam yet. Again, it's on my desired features list. It goes signal box, where I could throw levers, dying in a boiler explosion, and obviously Big Boy. That's my number 3. Obviously, we need that in the game. And there was actually something else
we actually need C62s in the game.
That's right, it is in the list of whistles, isn't it? And thanks to whatever the hell this camera is, and also that one dude who I'm pretty sure was running a webcam out of his apartment. Because he was just like narrating it, and then he was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed, and he turned it off. So, yeah, I think that was just like the view out his window or something.
I know which whistle needs to be in the game next.
All right.
And yeah, we'll see you all next week, and in case of emergency, call Conrail. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.